Hello, welcome to Finals Friendly Funcast numero 6. It is me, CH Final, and with me, special guest, Team Gray. How should I introduce you guys in order? We got Kasha in the top right, Scrimgore in the bottom left, and Gray in the bottom right. Scrim is not here at the moment, but he will be joining us very shortly. But yeah, hey guys, what's up?
Nothing much. I'm back again, I guess.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, you did become a member of Team Gray, so...
Yeah.
Actually, so you.
Technically speaking, we are all members of Team Gray.
Yep.
Yeah, and Gray is the supreme leader of Team Gray.
This is false. This Discord was made without my blessing.
Yeah. But, I guess you guys started as like a Skype group, right?
Yeah. I guess most of us go back to Xbox Live, but I'm pretty much the Skype group.
The good old days of Skype. Before Microsoft bought it.
I remember using Skype a bunch too.
Yeah,
Way
it was like
back in high school.
the thing to use, because
Yeah.
otherwise you were using like TeamSpeak or Mumble. And nobody that I knew used those.
I actually had no idea how to use TeamSpeak. It was... Maybe I was just too stupid back then.
I used TeamSpeak for Final Fantasy stuff, but that's about it.
It felt like one of those third-party voice programs that, it didn't really have super user-friendly UI or anything.
Mm-hmm.
So when Skype came around, it was just a thing that everybody flocked to because it was easier to use.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. Do we need any introductions here?
I guess Gray hasn't really popped off my stream very often. So maybe Gray can introduce himself a little bit. Hey guys, also please follow him on Twitter, on Twitch. You also have a Twitter, right?
I do.
You don't
use it. I don't use it at all, so don't follow me on Twitter. Also, probably don't follow me on Twitch. I don't even stream.
But you're the best healer in the world.
That life is behind me. Okay, I have... It's behind me. I can't do that anymore.
I see.
Oh god.
You're like the father.
I play Final Fantasy 14 at kind of a high level, but it's an MMO, so yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, but like he's a world-class healer.
That's true.
Yeah, absolutely.
But also, that life is behind me.
No more heals, all damage.
Yeah. Please, I don't want to heal anymore.
Did you have like that stereotypical healer support complex, god complex thing that I see a lot of memes about?
I wouldn't call it a god complex. It's more like apathy. Like if someone dies, then it's just like, well, I couldn't do anything about that. That's kind of how the game is.
That's fair. I wanted to try out Final Fantasy 14. The thing is that it's considered the retirement home for fighting game players. So yeah. I might hold off on it.
Also, you don't like
I don't like grinding that much. Alright, great, hit me. How much grinding do I have to do to become a competent Final Fantasy 14 player?
Okay, do you consider doing the main story of a game a grind?
Not really.
Because you will after this game. But once you finish the main story, you can pretty much do whatever the fuck you want. Your performance is entirely based on you. It's very easy to gear up. Mm-hmm. There's pretty much zero actual grind in the game. And yet, it somehow feels like everything is a grind, but it's very quick.
Okay, but how many story missions involve me picking plants for the friendly neighborhood mother or something?
A gratuitous amount.
Nice vocabulary.
Yes. I did play BlazBlue like way back in the day. I was like, I guess Scrim's main sparring partner, but he has left me behind. I'm a filthy casual now compared to his greatness.
Excuse me, I don't
knew he was still
approve.
listening. I knew he was
Yeah,
still listening.
no, I messaged Final. I was just gonna say that I'm back and I'm ready to participate in this call. I was trying to find a time to jump in, and it just happens to be now. What's up? I'm Scrimgore.
As Gray's like, yeah, I body scrim on the daily. My Tsubaki is world class.
So I just wanted to say, elaborating on what Gray said, he is my training partner. I think out of everybody, no matter how much I've played against Kasha or Final, I've played against Gray more. Just how much we've played in total. Like I remember in evenings back in CS, we would literally stay up all night where we play like 4 hours of BlazBlue, then like 4 hours of Halo Reach, then 4 hours of BlazBlue, and we would just do that like all day. And that was actually where I got most of my BlazBlue practice from.
Dude,
and you know what?
So bad at both of those games.
Hey man, I was bad too at the time, and I'm still bad at Halo, but whatever. I was also gonna say that even after all these years, you still know the Tager matchup. You give me more trouble when I play Tager than like almost anybody I play who actually plays the game.
You need to fight Tager in his zone. Giga brain take here.
You're
just don't respect him, even if he's in your.
You're a wild man. Do you also do 3C approaches against Tager?
Of course.
Yeah, like
no, 3C is really good against Tager.
I was complaining about this the other day, Final, where if Tsubaki spaces a 3C right, you can't punish it. You have to predict it as Tager. Even if you try to land that 5C, if you space it right, it's gonna whiff.
That's because 3CC actually pushes her back quite a lot. And as we know, Tager does not have very fast, long-range buttons.
That's fair.
I mean, I'm pretty sure a 360 would work, but
like if you
wouldn't.
If you predict it, like, oh, I can backdash it, so I can set up 360 if you fly into me, but if I block it, it's already too late, kind of deal.
You have to instant block at least one of the hits from what I labbed.
But you can delay it.
Yeah. That's what I was saying to you as well. Finally, what you practiced was a very specific distance at a very specific hit. So if you delay it, you actually get pushed back further. And if you delay it, normally you can punish them if you have like a DP. And you know what Tager doesn't have?
He doesn't have love and affection.
He probably doesn't have love and affection. That's also true.
This is what I've been saying. 3C is a godly move.
What's up, Hachi? All right, well, why don't we get into the good stuff now? Team Gray, the Enigma.
That's right. We all serve our leader, Gray. Don't listen to him.
We've been over this.
Yep.
So, the point of this podcast, I believe, is to, I guess, learn more about Team Gray and what it is, or just just get to know the members and whatnot. Even though there's only really 2 of us here, even though we're all members of Team Gray, I think might have already gone over that. Yeah. Actually, before the name Team Gray was Team Gray, I think like the go-to team name that we all kind of use wasn't it like Team Lonely?
Oh, that was what Heston called us.
Yeah, Team Lonely. That was the original.
Dude, Heston, what happened to you, man?
Another member of Team Gray. He's not really around too much anymore.
I bet he's not even lonely anymore. Fucking loser.
Can't be apart anymore.
I couldn't really tell you exactly like when we became like a a group we hang out every day, but I can tell you how we all met. At least from my perspective. I think Kyle, so another member of Team Gray who's not here right now, he knew Gray longer than any of us. I think you guys met through MapleStory, right?
Yeah, me and Kyle were buddies on MapleStory, and I saw them like talking about Halo or MLG in like the guild chat, and I was like, what the hell is this? One thing led to another, and I'm a pro gamer.
Yeah,
nice.
The rise of fame. Yeah. But from my perspective, actually, I was actually retiring from Halo mostly at this point. I wanted to try some new things. I bought BlazBlue, not knowing it was a fighting game. I think I might have said this story before, but I was randomly playing BlazBlue. I thought it was an RPG, but I was like, whatever, I bought it, might as well play it. And Kyle, who was a friend of a friend, because on Xbox you can view your friend's friends list. He happened to be viewing his friend's friends list, saw me playing BlazBlue, and also saw that my Xbox avatar was Itachi from Naruto. And he thought, oh, this guy's so cool. So he messaged me and asked me, is BlazBlue good? And I was like, I don't know who the heck this guy is. But I was like, yeah, BlazBlue's good. So apparently that's all it took for Kyle to purchase the game. And so we both learned the game together. We played. That's a good reason why I actually got into BlazBlue in the first place. I was gonna just get all the achievements and never play the game again. But I made a friend who is new to the game as well, who also happened to play Jin, who was my main. We both played Jin. So we learned the game together. We improved and played a lot. And it was through Kyle that I met Colin, Mike, and Gray, and also Heston. These like the main members of Team Gray when we all started off, and all of us we all played BlazBlue together.
That's so cool.
CT. Yeah.
Wait, I thought you guys. I knew you met through BlazBlue, but you said you were retiring from Halo. But didn't you guys still play a ton of Halo together?
We played Reach.
Yeah, like this is like during the time where Halo 3, like the Halo 3 ODST had come out recently, and that was like, it was I guess nearing the end of Halo 3's life cycle, because Halo 3 ODST, if you've played it, there are mixed opinions. I know there's some people in this call who like it.
Amazing storyline. Oh my god. Dude, when you're traveling through those nighttime cities, it's just so atmospheric. They really outdid themselves.
Yeah, I mean, there are also some people who 100% the game in 2 days, and I'm like, what did I spend $60 for? I don't know. But it was around that time where Halo was starting to dry up for me personally. And while I got into BlazBlue, and Kyle also did happen to play Halo, which was my main game before BlazBlue, we didn't actually play Halo 3 too much together. It was only when the next Halo Reach came out, is when we all started playing Halo again. And that was also around the time when CS came out as well.
Wow.
Which is like 2010. There's a bit of a time frame here. We've known each other for a very long time. But I mentioned it before, like I don't know when we all started like hanging out on a daily basis, because at this time there was no Skype, no other hangout area. We just literally used the Xbox Live party system. Gray, the type of person, even still now, he's the kind of guy who leaves his electronics on all day, every day.
What? Whoa, Scrum. What the fuck?
I'm calling you out here, man. So, but you know, it's because of that habit, actually, that the party would always be open, because you can't, the party, it would always be there because he's AFKing, right? So I'd wake up, I'd turn on my Xbox, say, oh, hey, the party's still here. And then other people will hop in sooner or later. And it's like, hey, is Gray here? Oh, he's AFK, whatever. I'll just wait in here until other people show up. That was the meeting place.
Okay.
I guess that makes sense, because before Skype, there wasn't really like any voice programs. People just used the Xbox Live chat.
Yeah, but usually, like, if you wanted to start a party, you would message them or invite them to a party, right? But like I said, Gray's AFKing just kind of became the hub for the hub room, I guess.
That's pretty good.
I actually noticed that about Gray. Sometimes there's like, he's away, but he's also playing something, and it's in the middle of the night where everyone's asleep except Scrim. And I'm like, you know what? I think Gray's asleep. He just left that on.
Yeah, that habit continues to today, right?
Of course not. What? No.
Yeah, he's a changed man. What are you talking about?
The way to tell is the moon symbol.
What?
That's how I base it.
Oh man.
Yeah. So, like I said, we all played BlazBlue together. Gray, and this is back in CT, so Gray didn't have Tsubaki, who's current main. He played, it was like Carl and Noel, because they wore hats, I believe.
Yeah, that was my reasoning.
Yep. All right.
Like I said, Kyle played Jin. We switched to New because he couldn't fight Tager. I played Jin. I switched to Tager because I couldn't fight Tager. different mindsets, and I forever cursed myself to this day. I don't believe Colin had a main. He just played like everybody.
He played everybody. I remember him playing like Rachel and
yeah.
Did he play Tao back then? Was that in CS?
He played Tao in CS.
Okay.
And Mike, I don't think you've ever really talked to him, but he played new as well. So yeah, we all had our different characters. We all played a lot. Good times is what helped motivate me to get me into BlazBlue in the first place. I mentioned earlier when Gray and I played a lot in CS is kind of what solidified me as like a BlazBlue main time player. So yeah, it was actually around the CS era though, or I guess CS2 is when everybody kind of fell off BlazBlue, except for me. They kind of stopped playing, lost interest. I can't fault them for that. It was depressing for me at the time, but we were all still friends. We all still talked. But I was the only one playing BlazBlue, so.
Yeah, I know for my friend group, whenever I would pick up a fighter, I would lab the crap out of it while everyone else just played casually, so they wouldn't play with me.
That's fucked up.
Yeah, so like, I don't know. He's like, "Hey, Chanya, here's a cool fighting game we can play." He brings out Marvel. I'm like, "Ooh, Dante's in it. All right." I lab Dante combos. I obliterate everybody. And they're like, "Yeah, I'm not playing this game anymore." Well, why'd you bring it up?
I don't know. That's one thing that I never really got. Like, I'm not very good at BlazBlue, but I really don't mind losing to people like you or Scrim or Kasha even. No offense. The only person I get pissed off when I lose against is Colin, because I feel like I'm just an absolute retard.
You feel like you should win, or you can win.
No, I'm like, I see him like crouching on the other side of the screen as Kagura, and I'm just like, I don't know what to do. I'm retarded. Like, obviously, like a very easy way of getting around this, but I'm like actually. Oh, God. It just pisses me off because I get shown the depths of my own weakness.
It's understandable. I think we all get that, just in different situations. Like, if I play against somebody much better than me.
I don't know. I don't mind losing, basically.
That's why we play League of Legends too.
Oh no!
I mind losing. I guess I get tilted really easily. I don't know if you know this about me.
No, wait. Gray getting tilted in League of Legends? Excuse me?
Never.
What? Never. It's like saying I get tilted in League of Legends. Who says that? That's actually ridiculous. Oh, can someone add Colin to the call?
Yeah, it looks like we'll be joining by Kong. We were talking about him earlier. Another member of Team Gray. It's just I'm having difficulty.
You won't see him in the bar or as one of the squares. So there's 5 of us technically. I just didn't expect him to. He said he couldn't show up, but now he's showing up. So
yeah, it happens. But...
Just type him in one of our names, like next to him.
Oh, all right. Who will have the honor?
Who wants to share their box?
Who wants to share their box with Colin?
Get out of my box, Colin. They need to see my full branding.
I'm still having difficulties adding him. Like, I don't know where it is, man.
It should be the top right. Add friends to DM.
Oh, you're right. You're 100% right. I'm blind. The eye surgery meant nothing. Let's just get him in here. Yeah.
There we go.
You should be joining. Hello?
Hello.
Hey,
Hello.
Sounding really energetic, buddy.
I am eating sugar to stay slightly more awake.
All right, how about this? Pick a box, any box.
Yeah. Which profile picture appeals to you the most?
Yeah.
Gray's is pretty great.
Just get him in here. Get him in here.
Yeah.
You can have the bottom right corner.
It's the only way to do it, because
Gray and Colin.
he's the figurehead of Team Gray, but I'm the shadow leader, kind of like Kasha.
Yeah, Kasha with FFF. It's technically true. I guess we can continue the timeline a bit now, though, because I think, like I said, it was like around CS2 2-ish when everybody kind of stopped playing Blaze Blue. But that was actually when everybody started getting into League of Legends. We were talking about that earlier.
Yeah.
Oh no.
That's right. I'm a very stubborn person. I'm sure you know that, Final, when it came to switching to Discord.
Yep.
And in order for my friends at Team Gray to get me to play League of Legends, and we went through a very similar deal where I said, play 100 matches of Blaze Blue with me in one sitting,
Yep.
and then I'll try League of Legends. And they actually did it. So
it was a team effort. But,
yeah,
yeah.
it was a
team.
It
I was
must be
gonna say,
nice because I had to
did
do it by
my-
myself.
Yeah, I mean,
Hey, all the power to you, dude.
No, it's no.
without you, we would have just left screen behind and we would have wasted it.
it's just 100 games. It's not a big deal.
100 games is a lot in one sitting.
I gotta like really feeling Blaze Blue to play 100 games at once.
You guys started in season 1, right?
Yes, Maokai
Yeah.
was the most recent champion.
It was season 1, but like I was the last person out of us to play League of Legends, and I hopped in when Wukong came out. So it was like near the end. Of
Yeah.
season 1.
Okay.
Okay, I hopped in when Vayne came out. I think.
That's before Wukong.
Who was that?
Yeah,
Before Wukong? Okay.
that's before Wukong.
I started. Nocturne was the first character for me.
I think I vaguely remember him being released, but can't remember.
He was right before right after Maokai.
Oh, okay.
He's very old.
Yeah, when it came to picking the champion as well, like I didn't know who to play, and it was actually thanks to Colin here, I managed to pick a characters because I wanted to play Cho'Gath just because he was a dinosaur, and Colin when he came to come visit me in Edmonton where I live, he bought me some RP, which got me Cho'Gath as well as Gentleman Cho'Gath.
Ooh.
That's right. That's still the skin I use to this very day whenever I play Cho'Gath. So
I
thank you,
now
Colin.
own it.
Ah,
One
yes.
thing. It only took forever.
That was like
Pardon me.
the legendary skin back then. though.
Yep.
Yeah.
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 That's just how old we are.
Oh god.
I think my first skin was Commando Garen, which was like the worst purchase of my life.
I still use my first skin to this day.
Which one
Well,
is
I
it?
don't-
I use my second skin. The first skin I ever have, I do use it though, is the Ace of Hearts TF skin,
Ooh,
and then Firefang Warwick was the next skin I got.
okay.
Those were your first ones?
Yep.
Ooh.
What was your first
I
one,
think-
Corey?
Those are definitely later than what I remember. Because I think my first skins were Spectral Fiddlesticks,
Spooky.
Sonoran Kog'Maw, which I don't even know if you guys know, but it's like the recolor where he's just orange.
Yeah.
Okay, I've seen what it looks like, but I don't know the name.
Yeah, well,
Prestigious
Warwick is the
LeBlanc.
first-
And
Fire from Mars was
then-
also a recolor at the time.
I mean, they were
it was
all
his
recolors,
first
right?
skin. It was his first skin, yeah.
Most of them were recolors.
Well, I had
Uh,
Simple Succulents Morgana, and she had like a hat and
Oh
some
yeah,
gloves. But
Yeah.
that's a good skin.
it
Yeah,
was
it's
like
not a bad skin. I don't like it as much after the rework though.
I
see.
actually haven't seen it after the rework. Now that you mention it, I don't see anybody use it.
Which one?
Sinful Succulents. Morgana.
Oh. I have the Blade Mistress one and some other ones, but I don't use that.
Yeah, the Firefang Warwick one was that was his release, one of his release skins. So that and Tundra Hunter, which I also have.
Ooh. I do know you like
Nice.
your Warwick.
Yeah, he's the champion I have played the most. TF is still one of my favorites. I just don't play him. I just like his design, but
Isn't TF like really
Yeah.
good right now?
Yeah.
TF's
he's
always just kind of
solid.
decent though, because like he's good for learning things though too.
He's a pro pick too. They were like picking him and banning him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Faker trivia. Faker says everybody should learn how to play TF because he teaches you more about map awareness than any other champion because of his ultimate.
That's true. That's true.
What about Karthus?
Karthus, you just press the button. You don't actually have to look at the
Yo,
map.
what about Yasuo? He's a great pick to learn how to map
No,
awareness on.
You need to know where your teammates died so you can spam the ping button.
Yeah, you spam missing and be like, "Hello, team. Hello."
Fair. So just a quick rundown. We're just kind of doing like a whole rundown of like the history of Team Gray. Is that what it is?
The
Yes,
lore.
mostly.
The
And
lore.
a little bit of a little bit of tidbits and just talking about random stuff and what we've been doing. Like right now, we're talking about League of Legends because that's what I was saying. People mostly left BlazBlue, and we transitioned to League of Legends.
Oh yes. Did you talk about the Edmonton Gamer tournaments?
I did not actually. So I guess we can go over that really quick. I wouldn't really consider a big part of Team Grey, but so I'm from Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, and there's this guy who wanted to get the fighting game community like off its feet in Edmonton. And he created a website called Edmonton Gamers, which I don't think exists anymore. Maybe it does. I don't think it does though. Yeah, and he would host tournaments like that. It was like super ghetto tournaments where if you did them in live, you'd really hang out like in his like apartment and do tournaments. And he also tried branching off into online tournaments. There's actually a bit of drama between me and him. I don't know if you're interested in hearing that, but yeah,
We live for drama.
Between me and Shiro, the guy.
Oh right, yeah, Shiro.
The guy who did Edmonton Gamers, yeah, not Monochrome Shiro. Monochrome Shiro is a cool guy, but yeah. So through Edmonton Gamers, we actually just did a lot of random like BlazBlue tournaments and stuff. And I'd have my friends, even though they're not from Edmonton, sign up and say, "Hey, let's all play some BlazBlue," because we were doing online tournaments. And,
Oh yeah. Okay.
And actually, it was an Edmonton Gamers tournament that I happened to win at one point, and the prize was if I won, I would get free admittance to Canada Cup 2010. And that's actually why I went, because I won the tournament. That was the only reason why I went to Canada Cup in 2010.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
that was a time and a half way back then. I beat Scrim one time in the Edmonton Gamers tournaments.
It's true, and at the time it tilted me off the face of the earth.
He didn't talk to me for a month.
Yeah, because like we were talking about this earlier, like when Gray was like, "Oh, it pisses me off when I lose to Colin." It's not necessarily Colin in particular, but there are two times, I guess maybe 3 times in BlazBlue where I'm upset when I lose, which is if I lose because it's laggy, if I lose to somebody who's worse than me, which I don't even know why I lost. I just happened to lose because something stupid happened. And if I also get kind of mad if I lose to a really dumb character like 9 or S or whatever.
It was all 3.
It was all 3. That's right, all 3.
He was Tagger, I was Hosma, I was laggy as fuck, and I was definitely not as good as him.
Yeah, I was so pissed off, and yeah, that was definitely a time.
I've heard the legends of the laggy Hazama style, but is there a reason? Like, were you on Wi-Fi or something, or?
So no, I wasn't on Wi-Fi. It's just this is back when when my dad was around and we had really shitty internet because he didn't pay for any more than required. So we had like limited on stuff. So like obviously like I had a Wi-Fi running through the house, like an Ethernet cable, but it wasn't like a great cable or anything. It was running down to the basement. So there's many legends of my Hotengens doing wake up Hotengen on the other side of the screen and me teleporting to them and hitting them. So
yo, that's what Hotengen should have been.
Or if it ain't broke, don't fix it, you know.
Jesus. I would have hated playing against you.
Oh, it was.
Well, also Hazama was really good.
Well, Hosma's always been a good character. He hasn't really ever been bad. He's just like he's probably in his best iteration now.
Okay.
But yeah, it was just like he was a weird character at the time because like you had everybody who was just kind of like in the middle of the game, and then there was Tagger and Hawkman is just like the worst for the first game. And then bang, and then you had like the undisputed like top 3 in the first game, right? Which was just like Arakune, Nu, and Rachel.
Yeah.
With Nu edging out the other 2. But then you go to CS, and suddenly we just have like a couple different archetypes of characters, and they throw Hosma in the mix, and Hosma suddenly is just like, haha, I just shit on Nu and Lambda. So it was just weird, because like Nu went from being such a fantastic character to doing like your entire health bar to Lambda.
Yes.
What's wrong with Lambda?
She was real bad in CS.
Well, she wasn't She wasn't bad. She's only bad if you compare her to New.
Yeah, she wasn't bad. It's just everybody else got better and she got strictly worse as a result because they nerfed her.
Kyle quit Blaze Blue.
Yeah, that's
Pretty
what made
much,
Kyle
honestly.
pretty much quit Blaze Blue.
That and me switching to Bang because I started picking up like I was playing Bang at the end of CT, and then came CS1, and you've all heard about the 5A to 5Ks, right? So suddenly my character, which was a 50-50 matchup and annoying for Kyle as is in CT, becomes very much in Bang's favor because Lambda couldn't do anything to D-Nails. One D-Nail canceled out any of her swords, so like.
Oh wow.
Yeah. You can't do anything against that when there's just a bang because he throws out one D-Nail, then he's on your face, and you're 60 to 70% dead off one combo, right? Because Lambda did not have a big health pool either.
Yeah. Okay, that's really interesting.
CS1 Bang was a good time, man.
The years have not been kind to New 13.
That's true. Now she doesn't exist anymore.
Wasn't she like super godly in CP or CPEX?
CPEX.
Like the dark zone.
CPEX was So we're not at the CPEX era in the timeline yet, but we can get there when we get there. But so yeah, where was I? We were transitioning to League of Legends. Actually, it's still at this point. We weren't Team Gray yet, technically. But this is actually a period of time where I'm not entirely sure what happened because there was about half a year where I didn't talk to anybody because it was at this point when everyone was like kind of getting to League of Legends and more PC-based gaming. Again, I'm a very stubborn person. I don't like changing if I don't have to. So everybody was like on Skype, and I'm like, no, I don't want to leave Xbox Live parties. So this is 2012 now, and I don't want to change. So it was either change or don't because they weren't coming back on Xbox, understandably so. But I'm like, no, I don't want to. So for half a year or so, I didn't talk to anybody. Mostly, this is actually what got me into visual novels and anime. Because I was like, what do I do with my time now? And that's when I figured out what visual novels and anime were mostly.
Okay.
So yeah, that's fine. I started reading visual novels, and it was at this point actually where they started playing League of Legends. And I mentioned that they started the team that coined by Heston, Team Lonely, is what they played as.
Team Lonely.
And actually, if you find Gray's old YouTube channel, there are videos of the really old League of Legends with Team Lonely playing ranked. That's right.
What's the YouTube channel?
Actually, I have it right here.
I need to see it.
I will post it. Yeah, I'll post it in chat.
Ooh.
Excellent. I'm saving it.
That's right. There you go. If you guys are interested, it's very old. 8 years. That's right. 2012.
Wow.
You can see the old League of Legends. And
this was like ranked fives, right? Oh my god, this was so fun when you could play ranked fives, like and like get matched up against like a 5v5 team.
Yeah, man.
Oh wow!
Holy fuck! I forgot how crusty you guys was.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm not in any of these videos because this is the period of time I wasn't there. So you probably have to fill me in here, Gray, like what this time was like.
It was interesting.
I used to be a jungle man. I don't know. Like we played a bunch of League. Mainly just League. Fuck.
Yeah, this was mostly like you, Kyle, Heston, even Mike actually. I think was in one or two of these. I'm in a very limited amount. But yeah, this was an interesting time. These were a lot of fun. I remember like your jungle Skarner. That was like your go-to at the time. Yeah.
Jungle as well back then.
Oh man.
Soraka looked so different back then. I forgot.
Oh, Kalieki. I have this guy on my friends list still.
Wow.
Just like me.
Time sure has changed.
That's right. It was still a long time ago. Like I said, even back then, it wasn't Team Grey still. It was Team Lonely. But actually, I think when I came back in, I finally decided to get Skype. It was through different reasons actually why I got Skype. I don't even remember why. I think I was talking to some girl at the time, but whatever. So, that was it was the name Team Grey actually comes from Mike, right?
Yeah, because he would like he made our we played like I don't know if you remember this, but we played some game battles for Halo Reach.
Yeah.
Oh god, the legendary 1-21 record. Team Gray has a storied history in competitive gaming. Let me tell you.
That's true.
Is it a good one?
1 in 21, Kachi. You can't look at that.
Yeah, they did have a game battles team. I think there was it was for Halo Reach. I think there might have been some StarCraft in there as well, and it was named Team Gray by Mike, which I think you'd probably have to elaborate more on this, Colin. Why is it that Mike names everything Gray?
Okay, so a little like background. I don't know if you guys have explained Mike or Canadian Bandit at all.
We've mentioned he's been here, but yeah, I don't know if Final hasn't really talked to him, so there's really too much to say.
That's fair. So Mike's kind of like a weird shadow member of Team Gray. He's my best friend. He's actually going to be marrying my sister in 2 weeks. So I was away at his bachelor party this weekend. Yeah, it's great. He's part of the family. So he's always been a really good friend of mine, and like we all met. I met him at high school, and then he met Kyle through Halo online before he met Kyle, and then Kyle came down to Kingston and meet one of his friends, Jake, who's not part of Team Gray, and we found out, we already knew Kyle from Halo. It was just a random weird coincidence that Kyle came to Kingston to visit somebody else we knew, and turns out we already knew him from online, so we just immediately hit off.
Wow, that's super cool.
Yeah, and Kyle introduced us to Gray and Scrim and so on and so forth. So that's Mike. Mike's been one of the main ones from the beginning for my friend group, at least.
Yeah, Mike was the first person to come visit me in Winnipeg.
That's true.
It's very true. Yeah, Mike went on his own because he messed up our trip, because Mike and I were supposed to go to visit Edmonton, but Mike was like, "Nah, I'm gonna fly out when I feel like." So I went to Edmonton because I had to. I didn't have a choice. And then the day I got back is the day Mike left.
Yeah, and that, like I said, that was when Colin bought me the Gentleman Show guest, and we came to visit Edmonton, and then he left, and then Mike came, and Mike lived at my house for like a month. And
oh my god,
it was funny because we eventually it was more like a roommate kind of relationship rather than like a friend visiting after at a certain point, because I would wake up, he would be asleep. And then vice versa. I'd wake up, I'd open the fridge, just be filled with alcohol. I'm like, well, okay, when did this happen?
He was also doing chores or anything. I was like, he mowed the lawn and stuff for your mom too, didn't he?
That's true. Yeah. It was very nice of him.
And when he was in Edmonton, he found a bike that somebody left behind.
That was Winnipeg.
Or Winnipeg, sorry, Winnipeg. Yeah.
Found a fucking bike from someone who's clearly stole some kid's bike.
Some shady guy.
So tiny. He just walked. Okay, and I know you can just do that in Winnipeg, I guess, because if your bike isn't nailed down, then it's basically someone else's bike at that point. But
okay.
Mike's a very free spirit kind of person, and this all kind of relates back to Gray. He's the first person who went to go visit Gray, because Gray and Mike got along really well over. They played 3v3s with Kyle and stuff in Twisted Tree Line. That's still to this day one of Mike's favorite things, and it's gone. He laments it every time he sees me playing League. He asks, "Is Twisted Tree Line back?" And I'm like, "No."
Dominion's gone too.
He's sad, yeah. But yeah, him, Kyle, and Gray played a bunch of Twisted Tree Line, not TFT. Yeah, he went to visit Gray for the first time. And then ever since then, he's just had a weird fascination with naming everything after Gray. That gets pretty significant. As Team Gray, we are named Team Gray. So Mike came up with that name, but Mike's phone is called Mr. Gray Farnell. His car is called Gray. His internet was called Mr. Farnell. His Reddit username is The Gray Farnell. He didn't name a dog after but he has managed to convince my sister that their firstborn child, if male, will be named Gray.
Gray.
You have a legacy, Gray.
Yeah.
At least I'm leaving something behind.
Mike is carrying on Gray's legacy, whether he wants him to or not.
That's right. But I just bring it up because that is where the name came from, but we weren't actually technically called Team Gray yet. I just remember it was around this period where you told me the story where he was naming everything Gray. I just found it the most hilarious thing in the world. And the way the Team Gray Skype group itself actually came to be, do you remember it, Colin? I do remember it. I was just wondering if you do.
I do.
Okay. Do you remember it, Gray?
No.
Okay, because this is actually it was an interesting time because now we're in 2013. In particular, BlazBlue CP had come out, And I was trying to get everybody to get back into Blaze. It wasn't working, but you know what can you do? I was playing CP on my own, and I came in contact with a with a friend from Xbox because I played Blaze on Xbox, and CP was the first Blaze Blue that was not available on the Xbox, so I had to move to PS to do it. And so I lost contact with a lot of my Xbox friends, but I happened to meet one person who moved over, and he said, "Hey, we're running a Blaze Blue Skype group. If you want to, come hang out." So I joined it. I happened to use Skype, and there's a whole bunch of people there. And actually, there's so many people there that I didn't really know or talk to that I know now, which is funny. Like I think Kappa was there, Serpent was there.
Wait, really?
Yeah, but I didn't talk to them. I didn't know them, but they were there. When I look back at the group chat, I was like, "Oh, hey, I know these people now, but I didn't know them before."
Whoa.
But yeah. So it's funny how that works out. Anyways, in particular, I met this person named Abnormal Sense, Greg. You may have heard him talking about him before. We played, and I guess you can say we kind of became friends at the time. We were talking, and then we kind of hung out. We played some Yu-Gi-Oh on the side with Yu-Gi-Oh Pro, and he was just kind of there. And eventually we would host calls, with like me, Colin, Gray, Greg. We'd play Yu-Gi-Oh and just talk and hang out. That's how he met them. And there was some drama in the BlazBlue Discord, not Discord, sorry, BlazBlue Skype group at some certain point where Greg was kicked, and he was like, "I want to have my own group where we can just hang out," kind of deal. And I was like, I was thinking about creating like our own like group as well. And he's like, "Yeah, let's just do it." I was like, "Sure." He's like, "What do you want to call it?" And I was like, "I don't know. What do we call it?" And I was like, "Oh, Team Gray." It just hit me because that was what Bandit was doing. His name, everything Team Gray. And he's like, "Yeah, sure, whatever." And then he's made Team Gray. And then that's when we added everybody. And that's actually how we just became Team Gray as a Skype group. Did you remember that by any chance, Gray?
I remember playing Yu-Gi-Oh with you guys. I thought we had the Skype group by then, but I guess my memory's just
that's when it come up, because shortly after is the Blubba saga for me.
The what?
We'll go over that. So yeah, that is technically next. Like, so it was actually because of Greg, a person who is no longer with us, who Team Greg came to be. He was actually
Make it sound like he died.
He might as well be dead.
Wow.
So yeah, he was actually the shadow leader of Team Grey. Technically, he created the Skype group, and we all just joined. That became our main hangout place. We all, but Greg was like my only BlazBlue friend at this time because nobody really played. I tried to get Colin into it, and he kind of played for a bit. He learned Kagura, and then this is where the Blubba saga comes in. If you would like to explain, Colin.
Oh, there was this Makoto player that Greg was showing how to play, but he was a very, very angry player, and he was very new to the game. And I hadn't been, like, when the CP first came out, I picked it up to play with Scram a little bit, but then I quickly dropped it again. Despite like wanting to learn Kagura, I was just like, I'm so out of this at the moment. I just couldn't be bothered to get back into it. But then Greg said he was like teaching Blubba, and he wanted me to play against Blubba because we were both new, and I was like, sure, whatever. Because like part of the reason I didn't like playing BlazBlue is because everybody else had just like surpassed me in terms of like skill, so it just became me getting stomped all the time. And to no fault of Scrim or anybody, none of us knew enough about the game to really help me learn. Like, I've learned a lot more in the recent like years in CF than I did ever back then, just because now I actually know how fighting games work to a degree. But yeah, Blubba was a very angry Makoto player, and I would lose to him, and I was like, there's no way I should be losing to this person. He's awful. And this is when I'd get really tilted if I lost to people in games that I know I shouldn't be losing to them, because I played a lot of competitive Call of Duty, like an unhealthy amount. And it was really tilting when I was losing to this Makoto. So Greg was a decent BlazBlue player, so he told me how to beat him as Makoto, or as Kagura, which was simply 2C, and if he jumps at you, 5C, and then you just Fafnir. Because that was when Kagura only had one Fafnir, and it was just his C Fafnir.
Beatable setup.
Yeah, you couldn't do anything about it. But like in CP, you actually couldn't do anything about it as Makoto. Like nothing you did got through it. You just had to like bait it out and like then punish it. But it was really hard. So I started doing that, And I got so many rage messages from Bubba when I started beating him, because then I was actually able to do my combos and stuff. Because like I've always able to do like my execution for most most combos in BlazBlue has actually been pretty good. I just know nothing of neutral. It's kind of the opposite now. I suck at execution, the boomer hands. But yeah, so he got to that where like he would challenge me like every single day to play, and all I did was 2C and defend me. And this man wrote me literal paragraphs on Xbox Live.
No, it's just PSN.
Or sorry, PSN, yeah. And on Skype, he would just write me literal paragraphs expressing his rage and wishing for me to die and all this stuff. And nothing in BlazBlue has made me feel better than when I beat him.
In particular, I remember Blubba got incredibly pissed off because Colin was picking like the default, which was like Kagura's stage and Kagura's theme, which is black aggression, Yggdrasil
And
seed.
Yggdrasil seed.
That was just the auto stage. He's like, I'm so tired of the stage and this music. And then because it made him angry, Colin went out of his way to always pick it, which persists to this day.
I love black aggression and Yggdrasil
yeah,
seed.
he keeps trying to pick Yggdrasil seed, and it's just I'm like, pick a net play stage, damn it.
It's net play stage.
It's yeah.
It's the net play stage.
Yeah, so is
for me,
Snowtown,
me alone.
of course.
Snowtown's not. Yggdrasil seed is though.
There is actually one story I skipped over. This is a bit before we were Team Gray. But no, I guess we were technically Team Gray in game battles, but it was before the Skype group was formed. But hey, you should tell the story of Solemnia, Nate.
Oh my god. Okay, so you know how in like old school FPSs, when you kill somebody, you can like hear their mic. You know what I'm talking about? Okay, that was
even
the thing.
Warzone has that now. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the thing, and that's amazing about Warzone. It's like the only thing I like about that game. But that was the thing in Halo Reach, and our like. Okay. So back in the day, you guys might not know this, but I'm kind of like, I like to talk shit. I know you. I never talk shit, so I can understand why you might be surprised.
When does he ever? I haven't heard it.
But so this guy just messaged me. I was doing like a doubles game or something, and the enemy team messaged me. His name is Solemnia Knight. I remember his name to this day. He just messaged me complaining about how I got carried by Mike, and then I was like, "Ha, you suck" or something. And he challenges me to like a 2v2 again, and then Mike like gets 23 kills and I get 2 kills, so I start shit talking him. And he's like, "Fuck you, man. Okay, let's 4v4." So I messaged. I think it was you and Kyle, right?
Yeah, it was me and Kyle.
Yeah. So we got the team. Me, Mike, Scrim, and Kyle, and we're doing like a 4v4 on Zealot. And Halo Reach was the first Halo to really like have assassinations and stuff, and I thought they were so cool, so I'd always go for them. And maybe that might be part of the reason why I'm so shit at Halo, but basically I just remember like I walk up on Solemnia Knight like in his whole team, and I just assassinate him. I get the kill, and over the mic, I just hear him yell, "Tonberry!" It's just like, it made me so happy. He's so mad.
That would be a great feature to have.
Oh my goodness. So good. I fucking love that guy, man.
That's actually hilarious.
I wonder, like, he gave me my favorite Halo memory
Of all time.
Yeah, like I was only just called in randomly on the very last game because it just turned into a 4v4 with sudden Gray asked for my help. So I was like, sure, I don't know the context of what's going on, but I could like hear him screaming. I'm like, oh, what's this guy's problem? He's so mad.
I was so angry, and you know what? I was getting carried by my team. it was so funny.
Yeah. I mean, for context, wasn't Mike like super good?
He was so fucking good at Halo, and he's like still really good at FPSs. I know we played
in FPSs he's still very good, but in Halo 3 specifically, like he almost could have went pro. Like he has multiple like videos and clips of him just like dumpstering professionals in Halo just in MLG online. Wow. The MLG playlist.
I remember one time there was like a month where Bandit lost his account, and so he made a new account while waiting for it to get it back, and he just got like a 50 in like a day. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, because this was at the point where Mike he dropped out of high school, and all he did was play Halo. Like we would go to sleep on Xbox Live at like. They would go to sleep super late. I would go to sleep at 2 a.m. when my dad came stomping down the stairs, threatening to murder me for keeping him awake, because all my friends stayed up super late. And Mike, so I would leave, I'd text Mike in the morning and be like, oh, he's still asleep. I'd get off school, and because we took the same bus, I would just go into his house and wake him up. Be like, yo, Mike, you awake? And he's like, yeah. And then he'd get up and play Halo. That's all he did.
Nice.
It was a silly amount of Halo. But yeah, he was extremely good. Him, Kyle, and Scrim were all very good at Halo 3.
But I feel like Mike was always on like the next level.
He's the next level.
Maybe
like,
even 2 levels, I'm not sure.
Yeah, like if there's like a tier list, then like Mike would be like S+ tier. Then Kyle's like probably at like A-, and I'm like at B+. That's just
and then Gray and I are down like C and D. Oh yeah.
I like to assassinate.
Yeah, I just remember in Halo 3, like there was a custom map where Mike would practice like his BR skills and specifically sniping. And the sniping one and the BR one's called the Octagon. It's a small octagon that was made in Forge mode and it has set spawn points. Mike had all the spawn points memorized. So when I played with him, he's like, you want to practice in the octagon? He would immediately kill me right at the start of the game, and then I didn't get to play. He would headshot me as soon as I spawned. The only time I got a chance to do anything was when he had to reload if the spawn timer lined up properly. But Mike knew that, so I didn't get to play. And like I just remember getting killed 25 times, and I didn't hit him a single time. And I was just like, all right, Mike, let's go play Call of Duty because I can kill you in that. I couldn't do it. Just getting headshot. Mike's just like jumping around 360ing, just knows exactly where I'm gonna spawn, ping. Watching the kill cams and stuff and the clips, just like, this is disgusting. Stop it. And he's still really good to this day. Like, but now he's on PC, so he's like getting used to like the PC players. But even in then, like in what's it called, Apex, he's a lot better than all of us in Apex as well. Still, like we'll get through a game and be like, oh yeah, we won the game, and then he shows the kill screen. It's like Gray, Kosher, and myself if we're playing. Any two of us, it's like, oh, we got like 2 kills, and Mike's got like 10 and 2k damage. It's like, yes, perfect. We assisted in this game.
Damn.
Every single time, even like when I pop off, I think, oh my god, I'm playing like an absolute beast this game. I'm just like, I see the score screen and like it's like 9 kills, 1200 damage, and like Mike's got like 3000 damage, and
but like the entire time, like you're popping off, Mike's just like, yeah, you're doing great. He's just always like about you guys he's always about the other people doing well, and he's like, yeah, you guys are doing fantastic. And then like he'll get to the score screen, he won't even look at it, he'll just be like, oh, you guys did great, and just skip out. He won't mention what he did or anything. He just goes on.
That's super nice.
It's really noticeable when Gray, Kasha, and I play because our wins decline. Hey, except that one time we got that 11-minute win where we saw nobody for 11 minutes, and then we saw the first team we saw. It was the final team. We killed them. We're like, wait, what?
Jesus Christ!
And we won the game.
Battle Royales for you, man. Like, blessing out of yours, let me tell you.
Yeah. But yeah, we got a little off track. We were like doing a timeline of like.
Yeah. So right when Team Gray, the Skype group was established, this is actually kind of where things they like kind of stagnated, I suppose. Like I introduced Greg to Team Gray. There were some problems at first where him and I got into very frequent arguments. I don't know. I don't think I've really gotten into an argument with you guys before, like a very serious argument. But at the time, like Greg's the kind of guy who really knows how to make you mad.
Yeah,
like there was
do a job at pissing you off.
He's that kind of person. Like I actually found myself like rage quitting Skype like for a week or two. Sometimes just I couldn't handle talking to people because it just made me that mad.
Yeah.
But overall, hanging out with him and hanging out with the group was more fun than it was bad because we still hung out, we were still friends, and this trend continued for a while. There'd be occasional time where I take a break from Skype and I'm just so pissed off. But for the most part, we just hung out. We played games. We played a lot of League. We played sometimes BlazBlue. Me and Greg specifically. Very rarely anybody else. But this trend continued for a very long time. This is like I said, we started in 2013, and then 2 years later, let's say 2015, we reached 2015, and this is actually where we plan the Team Gray trip. So September 2015. I don't know in particular why we just. I guess maybe it's like maybe it'll just be fun to do. It's time kind of deal because I visited Grant. I visited Colin in 2012.
Yeah, I remember like part of it. It's partially due because at the time I was in a relationship, and I hadn't talked. I didn't take like an intentional break, but I was in a relationship at the time, so I was on Skype far less.
Well, you also had the McDonald's work schedule too.
Yeah, and I had the McDonald's work schedule where I was working 9 to 5 every day, pretty much 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. So like I never really talked to anybody anyway, and then I was also in a relationship, so I was trying to balance that. So I wasn't on very much, and I remember Scrim had mentioned wanting to visit, and I was like, well, why don't we all visit? I think we all kind of agreed to visit Gray to include him because we hadn't been able to. Because Scrim had visited Gray, Mike had visited Gray, but I hadn't met Gray at this point. And I was like, I want to meet Gray. Gray's a really good friend of mine. And I thought it'd be a good way because I was going back to school.
Yeah, actually, in particular, even though Kyle had known Gray the longest, he had never seen a picture of Gray. Gray didn't have a webcam, didn't have a phone. And when I visited Gray, I asked if I could take a picture. He said no, he didn't want any pictures of himself. So I know Kyle was very curious about meeting Gray despite knowing him the longest. So Kyle wanted to go for sure. I wanted to go because it was fun. Colin wanted to go, and then since we were all talking to Greg at the time, he wanted to go as well, despite Greg not even being in Canada. He lived in California. So September, Greg came to visit me, and he hung out at my place for the entire month of September, which I played entirely too much Mario Party. I never want to play Mario Party ever again, even now. 5 years later.
I love Mario Party.
Yeah, and then after that, after come October, I think, is when Kyle, who lives in my city, I don't know if I mentioned that, Kyle, Greg and I, we went on the same flight to Gray's house. We met up with Colin, and then all 4 of us went to go live at Gray's place. So there's 5 people there, plus his mom. We lived at his house, and we stayed there for 2.5 weeks.
Something like that.
Yeah. And in particular, I don't know if you guys have really played a Tales of game. I know Final hasn't and Kasha has, but in Tales of games, you can play local co-op where since it's like a kind of a pseudo action RPG for the battle system, you can control party members on couch co-op. And at that time, it just happened to line up perfectly with a new Tales of game. Tales of Zestiria came out. I purchased it right before we left, and we did
we made it a plan to play through together.
We made a plan just to play a 4-man couch co-op RPG, which there aren't very too many games you can do like that for an RPG because usually only one person plays an RPG, right? So it was cool. Like, I'm not gonna lie, Tales of Zestiria is probably the worst Tales of game I played that wasn't Symphonia 2, but it was still a very fun experience, just hanging out. And
it's also coincidentally Halo 4's release. We timed it
Halo.
really good for both games.
That was Halo 5.
Halo 5. Sorry.
Yes. I do remember. Yeah, Halo 5 also came out at that time, and while we were in Winnipeg, we went to the EV Games. Yeah, and we just waited there for the midnight release. That was fun. Yeah, there were 2 games like that. It was a good time for sure, and we it was. I would like to do something like that again at some point. Maybe not now because of the virus and whatnot.
Mike was mentioning it. Yeah, Mike and I wanted to do a trip next year because of stuff going on. But yeah, we made it a plan to go meet up with Gray, meet him, and play. Kyle didn't want to play it, so he just kind of played StarCraft on his laptop set up on the kitchen table in the basement. And then the other 4 of us, Gray, Scrim, Greg, and myself, played Tales of Zestiria.
Kyle watched all of Hunter x Hunter, didn't he?
He watched all of the 1990 version.
Yeah.
And they also played a lot of Halo 5 when that came out.
And we all just kind of did our own things, but like when we were all awake, we did that for the most part. There was times when things didn't quite go that way, and the game got progressed without Scrim and I. But
Oh, I know there was like one part I got bit by a spider and I was like sick for 2 days.
Oh my god.
yeah, that happened. I almost never left the one chair.
That's true.
That chair was
Yeah.
that chair was fantastic.
You know, and at the end of that trip, if you look at the profile picture for Team Gray, that is actually all of us. It's kind of small, so I don't blame you if you can't see it. But yeah, that was all of us. We took a picture of a group picture before we all left.
Final can see it. Anybody listening can't.
Yeah.
Sucks to suck.
The only picture of me online. You know how hard it is? Like, when my Final Fantasy friends are like, "Oh yeah, you're the only person. We don't know what you look like," and I'm just like, "Yeah."
I
There's only
mean,
one picture of me online, and you know what?
I mean, there. I
Never
have
gonna
some.
get it.
I have some pictures of you.
Yeah.
I know at this point
Yeah.
you were technically more comfortable taking
Yeah,
pictures.
you took pictures. And I'm pretty sure like there's not that many pictures of me.
It's true.
No,
But-
there's very few.
And during the trip, there was also some fun times, like when we went to the Chop.
Oh, that's hilarious.
I don't
Dude,
know.
felt like such a fucking redneck or something. It's like-
I don't know if. Do you guys know what the Chop is? By any chance?
No. Well, I know it because you told the story,
Yeah,
but
I
it
don't.
doesn't exist as far as I know.
It's I wouldn't say it's like super high class, but it is a higher end type fancy restaurant, steakhouse in particular.
Okay.
Like 3.5 stars.
Yeah, something like that. It's
Out of
it's,
four.
it's definitely solid. I've been there before because I've randomly gone, not the one in Winnipeg, but I've been to the Chop before when I just randomly ate out with my family because my family likes eating out, except for my dad, but whatever. So on our way from the airport to Grace's house, I noticed we drove by the Chop, and then while we were just talking, I was like, "Wait, let's go eat there," and I just somehow convinced everybody to go there because I like the place personally. The food's really good. So we went to the Chop, and we all felt so out of place because, like I said, it's a higher end restaurant, and like Colin's there like in his sweatpants.
Yeah, man. This is my sweatpants phase. Yeah, for sure.
It's just, like
I
we're
was,
just like 6 unwashed dudes, just like
Like we all clearly just crawled out of Gray's basement, and like you walk into this place, it's like leather and like there's like all kinds of like alcohol up a thing, and like
Are
the
people in
waitress-
suits?
water.
the waitress is in like a very nice dress. It's
yeah,
like,
the-
oh,
Other customers are like in suits. They have like
Yeah.
laptops. Like, you're here on business or some shit. It's
Yeah,
just
and then like
Yeah, no,
we walk in.
Colin asked for some water, and she lists like 5 different waters.
And then so I'm like, water, and she's just like, okay, and she brings back like a fancy like distilled water, and I was like, this is distilled water, it's $5, it better be good. And I didn't taste anything, it was just wet. I don't know how to describe it. I was like, okay, I paid $5 for this jug.
Damn.
And in particular, I always felt weird because actually we went to the Chop on day 1 and also the second last day before Greg left because I think he left early. But it was just funny because we had the same waitress on both days, and she remembered us. But my dad, he gave me his card to borrow, but he said a limit of $100 per day,
Mhm.
so that I could spend. And my meal at the Chop costed about $80 because I'm the type of guy who's like, if I'm going out to eat, I'm making sure I'm enjoying myself.
Yeah.
So
like if it's like a fancy place.
yeah, like I remember you ordered like 3 steak bites or something.
Dude, those steak bites are fucking good. Like
They are good. I'm not judging you, man. If you ever go to Chop, anyone listening, get the steak bites. It's great. But yeah, so I remember because although I remember what Colin was particularly he said the waitress was really attractive and she seemed to remember us, and it was just funny because everybody tipped the waitress, but I actually physically couldn't because the only option to tip her was like a percentage of your meal, and that would make me go over the $100 limit. So like both
What
times,
was the percentage of like 20%? I was like, oh no.
Yikes.
it's like both times like I can't tip this waitress, and then we saw her again. So it's like, oh god, is she gonna remember I didn't tip her last time?
She definitely did.
I mean, she got good tips out of our table, so it's fine.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
That's
that
good
was
enough.
that was definitely a fun time. We also went to the Winnipeg Zoo, though I believe Gray didn't join us for that. It was just the 4 of us. I do have some pictures from there as well.
Yeah, I got a bunch too.
No, it was good. Eventually, of course, we all went our separate ways. We all went home, and once again, for about 2 more years, the usual continued. And in between the time, CF came out as well. Again, I can't really convince any of you to play CF because they're all long retired from plays. It was just me and Greg, somewhat, Because at this point, I didn't really want to play BlazBlue with Greg either. Because at the time, you may think of me as a pretty good BlazBlue player, and maybe I am. But even back then, I wouldn't say I was like really good. I was just the kind of player who was really good at stomping bad people, but not good against people who knew how to play fighting games.
How to
So
play a fighting game for
yeah,
what a fighting game was, yeah.
like Blaze was my only fighting game, right? So I didn't have anybody to teach me. I didn't have anyone to learn. I just kind of instinctively picked things up from practice of figuring out what works and what doesn't. I didn't know what plus frames mean or anything like that. I just realized if I hit someone Tager's 2D and they can't retaliate, I can keep hitting buttons, right? That's just what I knew. So that was the kind of player I was. But Greg, he came from a very fighting game heavy background, so he was a lot better than me. And I got frustrated and I didn't really want to play with him. So I didn't really play with him too much. I just kind of played BlazBlue on my own. Even then, I was heavily considering quitting BlazBlue at that point myself because CP was a very dry era. As I mentioned, none of us in Team Grey really played, and we mostly had transitioned to League at this point. And I didn't like the changes for CP personally. So I barely played CP. It was my least played BlazBlue. And then going from CP to CF, the Tager combos looked really dumb and unfun. And also they announced no dub. So I was like, I really don't want to get this game. I only changed my mind last minute because they introduced Susanoo, and I was like, this character looks super cool, and that's why I bought it. So yeah, so when CF came out at that point, I didn't even play CF that much. I just tried to learn Susanoo, played him on the side, played a little bit. But in 2017, in particular, is when there was a pretty big change in Team Grey. So for like 4 years now, we had been hanging out with Greg, as I mentioned. He's the kind of guy who, makes you angry. But we thought it was fine because we hung out with him and the good times outweighed the bad. But eventually, in particular for me, I think it was October-ish 2017. I got mad and I was like, I don't want to deal with this. I left Skype like I usually do. And at this period, I think I wasn't talking to anybody, so I didn't really know for sure what happened. I think Kyle also took a break from Greg. What happened at that point between you and Colin, Gray?
I mean, we just didn't really hang out with anybody. I'm pretty sure.
Well, yeah. So I was still in the relationship, or no, I wasn't. I was back in school. I would finally go back to school at this point. So I was in school. Yeah, I was in school, and my free time was spent playing Final Fantasy 14 because that was the big Final Fantasy 14 phase for me. Anytime I had free time, I was playing Final Fantasy 14. So Gray and I played that, but nobody else was really in Team Gray at the time. It was pretty quiet.
I mean, Greg would stop by, but it was just super fucking awkward, right?
We all ended up making private calls.
Yeah,
anytime to avoid them. Yeah.
I remember there were times, I'm pretty sure during that period, where we would still watch anime, right, Scrim?
Yeah.
And then Greg would be like, "Hey, you know what Scrim's been up to?" And I was like, I really feel uncomfortable lying about stuff like that. So I'm like, yeah, me and Scrim were just watching some anime the other day. It's just
it's kind of hard. But yeah, I was just eventually I did miss my friends, so I came back, but I stayed permanently offline. I didn't talk in Team Gray. I just kind of messaged Kyle, Colin, and Gray privately. Sometimes we would hang out. I didn't hear as they mentioned they played Final Fantasy a lot together because I think Colin was on and off school because there was a strike going on. Yeah, so this actually continued for a very long time. This is from September, October, like I said, all the way up until December, where I was just actively avoiding Greg. And then it just turns out Kyle's also avoiding him, and Colin and Gray were also avoiding him. So I don't know what was going through his mind at the time, but everybody was just dead quiet. So come January, he just left without saying anything. So I was like, oh, nice, he's gone. So we all kind of came back. And and then a few days later, he messaged us saying, "Hey, can I come back? I just wanted to see what it was like to leave Team Grey." Because I guess we glossed over it because it's kind of the same thing. But we were friends for 4 years. We even hung out. But at that point, we're all done with him. So we said no, and we all kind of cut contact with him. And that was pretty much it. We hadn't heard from him in a very long time. So come 2018, that was the year without Greg for the first time in 4 years. And things are actually a lot better. The atmosphere definitely improved. We all felt better. We were all able to hang out and talk, be friends, without too many arguments or anything. Good times.
Yeah.
Good times.
It was an interesting time, especially because once he left, and then once he tried to come back, he actually like sent us a bunch of messages, and he specifically talked to me while I was at school because I was trying to be empathetic and trying to understand as best as I could. But then he started like insulting us on personal levels.
What the hell?
Specifically Gray and Scrim. And
yeah, I mean,
and he did it to me. He told me personally, and he said he didn't care if I told them. And I was the one trying to like defend him at the time and defend Greg, and doing that to like somebody, like two people that I considered family at that point, because I've known them almost half my life. It was really shitty, and I was the one vouching for him. So then when that happened, I my empathy and sympathy just kind of flipped off, and I was like,
I mean, yeah, at that point he messed up.
Yeah, but that's the kind of person he is. He has to be the kind of guy who gets the last word in. He's always right, you know. He's just that kind of guy, and we don't want to get.
It just didn't vibe with us really, like.
Yeah.
No, not at all. And like
So
that really rubbed me the wrong way.
Here's my take on Greg. Greg can be a super fun person to hang out with, but he can also be super frustrating. And so when I think of Greg, like I like, even a lot of the time when he's being shitty, I try to like balance that. Like, I mean, it's just like, it's just how
over
he
time,
is. Yeah, and honestly, I feel like pretty shitty about how we handled it, not about that one, but like
the second one,
second
coming of Greg. Yes,
we're not there.
But yeah,
there's a saga to hold all this.
Team Grey is a very expensive lore.
I also like, I don't feel like holding grudges, and I do believe that people can change. It's just
and like
I don't know.
We'll get into that. But yeah, at that time the positives were starting to become heavily outweighed by the negatives. So
yeah, but like I said, he was gone now, and everybody's definitely felt a lot better. Like, again, hanging out with Greg was fine because we knew him for a long time, but eventually, like the pressure was too much. He's gone now. 2018 came, things were looking up, and it's actually this year is when I met FFF technically.
Was it last year?
Nope, it was
No.
It was 2018 because it was like going into.
So yeah.
It was going into like March, April, May-ish. That area was when I met Final through Gray. Technically, I was talking about this with Final. Like the BBCF had been ported to PC already, and I was hanging out a call with Gray one evening, and I was like, Gray, I want to play BlazBlue, but there's no one to play with, and he's like, sure, there are people scrim. He just opened up Twitch, and he's like, here, this guy's playing BlazBlue. So I opened up the stream and I was like, oh yeah, I guess he is. He's on PC. I guess I'll go invade his room. And then I did, and I was like, I did recognize CH Final because his I remember people on BlazBlue who aren't laggy and who are at least decent at the game. Those are like my two criteria for me to remember your name probably. So I was like, sure, I'll play this guy. Why not? And that was when I started interacting with Final a little more because I think he remembered me as well because I used to play him every now and then.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh hey, it's Scrimgore, and it's like, oh hey, he remembers me. So yeah, I would start frequenting his stream because in particular, actually, before I was interacting with Final, there were two other BlazBlue streamers I used to like. I would see their rooms and I would join. One was Madocat. I used to frequent his streams a lot, but then he moved from PC to PSN, and I just kind of stopped following him. And then there's a streamer called Paradigm 9, who I don't think has streamed in like 3 years or something. He was a pro player. But yeah, I mean, they're like my favorite streamers. I would watch, I'd hang out with them, and I would invade the rooms and body them because it was funny. And then this was the natural progression. Both of them had stopped streaming, so like, okay, for this CH Final guy is next. I'll go invade his room and body him until he stops streaming. But as we're streaming right now, that obviously hasn't happened. But yeah, that's how I met you. I met Kasha the same way. We started talking more. Not really like vocally talking, but like talking through text, through BlazBlue, through Steam, and then you're like, "Hey, come join our new Discord, FFF."
Yep.
Right. I don't have to tell you about what's happening here because but I guess for the viewers at home, I don't. Third time I mentioned this, I'm not one for change, but I'm willing to make very, very steep compromises. Where I was like, hey, fine, I'll play 100 Blaze Blue matches with me, and
In
I'll
one
join
sitting.
Discord in one sitting. That's right. And the Madman actually did it. I think there's some clips of it on my channel at twitch.tv/Scrimgore.
Yeah, please go watch
Yeah,
Scrimgore whenever he
Go
streams.
check it out. Yeah.
And this was actually really convenient for us because around the time, this was like again shortly after the whole Greg scenario, we kind of just ditched Skype.
Well, I wouldn't say we ditched Skype. We still definitely used it. That's the thing.
We did. I was trying to get I pretty much ditched Skype because I was like, yo, Discord's just better.
I used Discord for like all my Final Fantasy stuff, which was my main game at that point.
Yeah.
And I was using it for the same stuff as well. So
I know like both Colin and Gray, as they mentioned, they had like their own little groups and stuff to do on Discord. I think Kyle, he preferred Discord as well, but he didn't necessarily was gonna change unless we all did. Me, I was like, I'm not gonna change unless I get a reason to, and this is the reason. I switched to Discord, and with that, when I moved to Discord, that was like, oh nice, we can all advantage Skype because like, I was the one holding everyone back. So everyone
horrible program.
Yeah, you're welcome, Team Gray.
so everybody moved onto Discord, and we created the Team Gray Discord. And actually, if you remember earlier, I said Greg was the one who made the Team Gray Skype group, though he left, and then I don't know who became the leader by default after that. We never really figured out. It didn't really matter. But now the Team Gray that we're currently in was created by Colin, so now he's the shadow leader, like the Kasha to the final, finals friendly fun town.
Shadow leader, if everyone's saying that this is Colin and he's the leader.
That's true. Like like finals friendly front town has final in his name, and he's the face, but Kasha controls all. It's just kind of like that, where Team Gray's the figurehead, but Colin controls all. He's a Nazi.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
I try to make everything like in the Discord. I try to like make sure everybody's okay with something before it happens, and I try to be fair. But there was one time I didn't, and that will come up.
That's true.
But yeah, Vampire in Brooklyn, aka Mike, is currently there, and he's providing more memes about Gray.
That's true. Gray is our only leader. We all migrate to Team Gray. And
much to Gray's chagrin, he hates it.
Yeah, we can never escape Team Gray. It is definitely a cult. But
Gray.
Yeah, you got the Team Gray spirit. I mean, once again, things continued as per normal. I don't really need to fill you in what happened specifically because at this point I was friends with you, both you and Kasha. We kind of hung out on the side. We played some Blaze Blue. I think near the end of
Kasha's kind of relevant because Kasha ended up.
Kasha joined Team Gray first, right?
Not yet.
Yeah,
we're getting there. We're still in 2018. Like I was gonna say, like late 2018, we started branching out more from just Blaze Blue. Like we played League, some. Actually, I think that was it. Yeah,
that was out League.
Well, yeah, I mean, I met them through Blaze Blue, right? But then this isn't where the two groups intersect yet, because come March of 2019, so this last year now, I was I guess above acquaintances now with Kasha. I would consider us friends, but not like friends who I like voice chat with. But like Kasha just randomly asked me one day, "Hey Scrim, do you play AMQ?" Because I think Kasha knew I watched anime a lot. And I was like, no, I don't know what AMQ is. And then he introduced me to that game. Very good game, if you like anime and music and trivia. So we played. This is actually, I think, the very first time I really voice chatted with Kasha. I remember because I felt kind of awkward that I didn't really talk to you before. But you asked me if you wanted to voice chat, and I was like, sure. And then, we played AMQ together. Your internet sucked at the time, but whatever. It was fun. that was how I learned what AMQ was. And I didn't really talk about it too much, but in Team Gray, one of the activities we do besides League and Blaze Blue is we watch anime together and just talk about it and have a good time with it. So I know all my friends, they like anime. So I was like, hey guys, I found this new game, AMQ. You want to play? And I convinced everybody to at least give it a try. Funnily enough, I thought Kyle would like it the most because he watched the most anime amongst us besides me. But Kyle liked it the least. I thought the person who would hate it the most, Gray, is the one who liked it the most. So I guess I don't know my friends. Yeah, so I convinced him to play. And then there was one day I was playing with me, Gray, and Colin because we were all getting into the game. And I just happened to ask Kasha, saying, "Hey Kasha, do you want to come play with us?" And you're the one who introduced me to the game. And you were like, "Sure." And then I remember I asked him, "Do you want to come join the VC?" And he was like, "Yeah, okay." So I invited him to Team Gray. and this is now in May of 2019. So Kasha just joined Team Gray at there, just randomly for no reason, just other than to play AMQ. He just kind of hung out there, you know. Sometimes you join a Discord with some people you don't know, and you just kind of lurk there, right? So yeah, that was Kasha for the most part. He was just there. Whenever we played AMQ, I remember in particular the game Kasha joined, we all picked shonen songs.
I do remember this.
And Kasha, not knowing any of the songs, he got frustrated and he changed his name in Team Grey to fuck One Piece.
I'm pretty sure. I don't remember if Kyle was there, but I know that Gray and Colin were there. And at the time, you guys were literally picking up like One Piece, Bleach, and Naruto. And there's like nothing I could do.
I don't even want to hear that from you, Kasha. You don't even know your own songs.
Well, actually, if you remember in the beginning, I actually didn't know like any of my songs, but eventually.
That's back in the day when I did well.
Colin, you're missing out, dude. There's team games now.
Yeah, you play Team AMQ. You should come.
We can do. Oh, actually, that sounds fun. Gray and I can be on a team and just get shonens at the end.
We had like a 3v3 battle against this other team. It was sick.
Yeah, it was
now
funny.
I was their hidden fourth teammate.
Yeah, Finals helping us out too. It was fun. If I was gonna say that if you ever want to play AMQ, Colin, it'll probably be easier now since we can all be in the same team. It's like
that's actually a lot better. Yeah, because right now, whenever I come to join AMQ, I'm just there to make the rest of them have a miserable time, because my list has a bunch of like random ass Gundams and stuff, and none of them know them. So I just come in to mess with things, pick up the most obscure stuff off of my list just to mess with them. I don't even know some of the things on my list. So. I'm the chaos card.
But yeah, I think from my perspective, I do remember AMQ was what brought me into the Discord, but I actually don't remember
how you became active.
That, and I don't remember there being like a month or so gap. I guess it makes sense because I wouldn't just randomly show up and then all the voice calls, but I actually don't remember what.
I remember what it was. I was gonna go into that next, actually.
Yeah.
So there was I remember I mentioned in like 2018 or something, we played a bit of League, but after like the end of 2018, we kind of stopped, or at least you guys stopped, you and Final, and so around June, July-ish of 2019, that was when TFT came out. So I remember Colin was just randomly streaming Final Fantasy. I think that was when Shadowbringers came out. And I don't know why you were there, Kasha, but you just I guess you just saw that Colin was streaming. You just hopped in on the stream and you were just talking to us at Colin's stream chat. And we were talking about saying, hey, we're going to play some TFT later. And I was like, oh yeah, Kasha, you want to come play TFT? And you're like, I don't know what that is, and I have League uninstalled. Yeah. And I was like, oh, it's pretty fun. And I was convincing you of what TFT was and how, you know, maybe if you don't like, you're not in the League mood right now, you could play this. It's very different from League. So you're like, okay, I'll give it a try. And then so you install the game, and then you said, hey, can I hop into voice chat? I was like, yeah, sure. It'll be easier for me to tell you what's going on. And you came and joined us for TFT. And that was actually when you started to get to know us better, because we play a lot of TFT. So
yeah, I remember that now.
And at that point, like Scrum said, we started to talk to you more and we started liking you more. So like, as far as I was concerned, I was like, hey, we found a Greg replacement.
Well, because Greg is also from California, coincidentally enough. Just like God is. Yeah. He was from Coto de Casa.
What the hell?
But like, Kosh was just really chill, and like I didn't feel like on edge or anything when he was in the call, so it was just nice.
And I do remember actually being particularly paranoid because like I remember I've asked both like literally everybody this. I was like, are you guys okay with Kasha? Because I was under introduced Team Gray or Greg to Team Gray. Yeah. So I was like, oh god, I hope these guys get along with Kasha. I don't want another Greg thing, but you know, Kasha's an awesome guy. I'm sure.
Yeah, Corey's hella chill.
Yeah, everyone likes Kasha.
Yeah.
So.
For now.
What?
I mean, everybody gets along with Kasha. No one has the issues, even now, so that's good. I've still been
doesn't gank my lane enough.
That's true. That is true.
Yeah. He has too many Love Live and School Idol project things on his AMQ list.
You know, maybe I actually just really hate Kasha.
but now Gray and Screw have Love Live on their list.
Yeah, I know. You've cursed them. What did you do? I can't even get them. Like it takes me forever to get them to watch Gundam. It took me like 3 years to get Great and Scrim to watch a Gundam with me.
Yeah, but like Gundams is just a bunch of robots fighting each other, or idol girls.
Right.
So you know what? Here, okay, I got the next
I'd be more into Gundam if you were just like, "Hey, Gray, we're watching Gundam right now," and I was like, "Okay."
Yes, sir, Mr.
I will do
Sir.
that. But here, how about this? Now we can just watch Gundam and Idol Girls. We'll just watch Macross and hate ourselves.
Oh,
Nice.
yes, Macross. That's a wacky show.
Okay, hot take here. I don't think Love Live is a good series.
I think you're probably right, but I don't really care at this point.
I respect that.
So yeah, Kasha was at that point, like, because Scrim was like checking in with us to see if we liked him, and like, because like he said, he was paranoid and worried, but it got to the point where he really liked them, so
Yeah.
it was good.
Yeah, actually, this is funny because this also applies to you, Final, when you started to get to know us better as well. But I distinctly remember a moment when we were playing TFT and Kasha was getting to know us. Kasha couldn't tell the difference between Colin and Gray's voice.
I also had trouble.
Yeah, and you had that same problem. And I was like, it just felt so weird to me because like, I guess I've known these people for a very long time, but it's like they sound so different. But I guess if you're meeting them, maybe you might get them mixed up. I guess I can't hear it.
I can't. I have no idea. But like again, your voice sounds different in your head than what people hear. So
Yeah.
Well, I think your guys' voice sounds different, but you guys called each other different things than what your name was. And
Yeah.
I didn't know any of it, so I was just like, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah,
yeah.
that's true.
Me and my Colin Zyrith Shadows lyric, I'm known by all these many names.
Yeah.
Well, especially for, I think it was Gray in particular, because
He goes by Tonberry.
Tonberry.
So I was
and
confused
his
too.
name was something else.
Yeah.
And then they're like, hey, Gray. And I was like, what?
Who's
Who
who?
is this person?
Who's who? Yeah, I was confused too.
You're
I'm
introduced to like a
sorry.
family, but you don't know who anybody is. You don't know any of the nicknames
Yeah,
or
the
stuff.
the
yeah.
long lost cousin, or my long lost brother. There we go.
Yeah, his
no.
his dark turtle's name in League. That's the other one.
Which, by the way, is a Tales of reference.
Yeah.
If you weren't aware. But yeah, so Kasha gets integrated into the group. Good times, good times. Then come September 2019 now, so we are at the end of the summer. I got randomly added by Greg on Steam. So we hadn't heard from him in like pretty much 2 years now. So it was pretty strange. But like at this point, like I didn't hold any grudges, like Grace said. This is just a guy to me I used to know kind of deal. So I accepted his invite just to talk to him. Apparently he had watched my stream, Tales of the Abyss, because this is that time when I was actively streaming.
Mhm.
So, and I do remember Tales of the Abyss was his favorite Tales of game. He just happened to randomly catch it. I don't know where or why. He specifically told me he saw some. So we talked a bit. We caught up, and he asked me if he could rejoin Team Gray. And this is a really awkward thing because I was like, we don't really want to associate. Yes, we didn't, but maybe it's been a while. I'll talk to everybody else. Like Gray said, he said he maybe people change over time. I was okay with it to give it a try. Colin and Kyle were a lot more wary. In fact, I think Kyle was really wary. He didn't say anything. He was like, if you guys are okay with it, I'm okay with it too, I guess.
I was the most opposed to Greg.
Yeah. I mean, technically Kyle was, but he didn't really voice his opinion.
That's why I said Kyle was.
Oh, I thought you said you. My bad.
No,
Yeah.
no, Kyle.
Yeah, Kyle didn't say no outright, but that's what he felt, right? He just didn't say it.
Yeah, Kyle said pretty much no, and it ended up being my deciding factor because Gray and Scrim were willing to give him a chance.
So in the end, we did decide to add him back, but we gave him like the warning, like, hey, if there's any, drama or any funny instances or whatever, not literally funny, but
if any single
funny.
one person has a negative experience with you, you're gone again.
Yeah, exactly. Because this time, Colin is the one in control of Team Greg. Because like before, when we were getting tired of Greg, we couldn't just kick him because he was actually the leader, right? That was also a problem. So this time, we could remove him if we didn't want him here.
You should have done a revolution. Viva la revolution.
I mean, technically happened. We all vetoed our leader, and we all just stopped associating with him, and then he died. He left, right?
Yeah, you guys did a bunch of calls like underground, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Well,
that's something to mention. Like in the Team Gray Skype group, there was just like always a call going on that just included all of us, and like we just joined and left it as we saw fit. Kind of like the voice chats in Discord, but we just had a call. So like we started making private ones, so more and more calls popped up, and like we were like, which call's alive, which call's dead, but don't need that anymore in Discord.
That's true. Except for this call we're using right now, I guess.
Yeah, private calls on the timeline.
Yeah, but so in the end, we re-added Greg. And in this time period, for I guess that was like 6-7 months, 8 months actually. Kasha, you got to meet Greg, right? So we've all said our say on Greg. What's your opinion on him?
I think, funnily enough, I might have more of a negative opinion than you guys, despite not hanging out with him as much. Because it's not like I disliked him too much, but I could already tell that like the atmosphere was different with him. And because I hadn't been friends with him for 4 years like you guys, it was just like a presence of awkwardness. So
yeah, because Greg's sense of humor was very different from a lot of people we know. It felt like
very aggressive. That's it. Like,
yeah, it was very aggressive, and like, so he was just like all the "are you gay" jokes or "you're fucking retarded" and stuff like that. It was just like, but it felt some of them. It just felt like there was an underlying like not joking part to it,
like animosity.
Yeah. It always felt like there was an underlying animosity. And the first time in Skype, like it just got to the point where like he's not joking, like he actually means these things when he says them to us. Yeah, and it turned out that was the case in the first instance. And when he sent me all these messages, and I was just like, yeah, no, I'm done with it. But the second time around, everybody was willing to give me things, but I was on edge. Kyle disappeared.
Yeah, this is like the first problem was I didn't at this time. Like Kyle said it was okay, but I didn't really know how much he opposed to it. And I noticed that we were seeing Kyle less and less, which was bad because Kyle being a very close friend of mine, I wouldn't have met literally any of you guys without Kyle. So I was like, well, no, where's Kyle going? And then that's when I found out that Kyle was actually actively avoiding us because Greg was here, and that's a no-no. Because like, if I had to choose between the two, I'm definitely picking Kyle. So, we talked it over and we're like, what do we do? Like, there isn't really anything we can do. We're not gonna kick Greg for no reason. He hasn't really done anything really. He just kind of makes it a bit awkward and whatever. I still do like talking to Greg. Even now, like honestly, I don't like the dude that much, but I can talk to him civilly. But whatever. So, come February of 2020 now. So we're in this year. We're catching up to the present.
Woo!
That's when we as Team Grey did our very first Clash session. And
I was there for this one.
Yes.
Kasha was subbing in for me essentially.
Well, I know for sure Gray wasn't there.
Yeah, Gray was in raid and I was not there, but Kasha was. So Kasha took a spot for us.
Was Kyle actually there? I think?
Yes, Kyle was.
Kyle, you and me were there for sure.
Yeah.
Because then Bacon and Greg, that was our team. Yeah. So that Clash coach. Yeah. So we do need a Clash coach. So and that was our five-man team. And I don't know. Greg gave me a bunch of excuses, but essentially he ruined our Clash experience. Like it was really bad. And at that point, I was like so pissed off, I couldn't really defend him anymore. So I actually kind of called a vote. I was like, I don't really want to deal with Greg anymore. How do you guys feel? And everyone,
I woke up to like just a fucking fire.
Yeah. Yeah. So I agreed, or I didn't agree. I talked to everybody. Everyone kind of agreed with me. And then Kyle was like, "Yeah, let's do it." And then he just booted Greg from the Discord without saying anything. And then he's like, "You don't get a say in this. You're dead," kind of deal. But that actually rubbed me and Gray the wrong way, kind of. So if you like to explain your side, Gray.
Well, I mean, it's
all wrong except for Kyle. Yeah.
I just like what I do something like that. I like to just like at least explain myself or like talk to the other side a bit. Kyle's like just like he'll cut off anyone who he just doesn't like.
It's toxic to his
I think it's like kind of a bad mentality, but I mean maybe it's just more healthy for him. But I just like
we all have our issues.
Jesus fucking Christ, dude! Like I felt so bad when he just like got kicked without even like really knowing anything. He's like, messaging us like, "What the fuck?"
How do you think Rhythm Bot feels, Gray?
Your butt's been kicked twice.
Empire has an awful taste in music, okay? The other day they were playing just like a 25-song playlist. Who does that?
Yeah, it actually did bother us, or at least me and Gray, kind of a decent bit, because I felt bad about kind of pushing the issue when me was I don't like him, but that was probably too out of line. Like if that happened to me, I'd be feeling pretty bad too. So we did
It
eventually.
was like a snapshot decision, right? So
Yeah. So we actually did end up adding him back, but I think that actually really hurt Kyle because he felt like he was the reason why we were feeling bad. Like he didn't care about Greg, but because we were going through some kind of sad times here, he felt like it was his fault. So actually Kyle ended up leaving Team Grey. It's just like this is a huge mess now. So
it became a huge issue because like we've all experienced and all have some like mental like health issues, depression, whatever, what have you, anxiety, what is it?
yeah, and then
Kyle's not excluded from that. So when we tried to talk to Kyle, like we met, like again, I woke up to just a ton of messages about like Scrim had messaged me saying Kyle's left Team Greg because we brought Greg back, and like we were really worried about Kyle's mental health because in Kyle's eyes, we had just chosen Greg over him.
That wasn't the case, right?
And that was not, it wasn't the case, but I 100% understood why he felt like that because like as far as it's concerned, that's what it looked like to him. Like there's no other way to explain it to him at that point because we invited somebody that we've all considered toxic to our lifestyle.
And he was the one who was very against it.
Yeah.
But and also I remember he was saying he was going through a very difficult time at work as well. So he just didn't feel comfortable. I know I'm not going to get into much of this. We all have our own privacy here, but a lot of us were also going through our own problems at the time as well. So, it was a rough time for sure. But in the end, just randomly, Greg left. Like again, like another like month or two later, he just left. Actually, you were there, Final. Technically, it was when we were kind of hanging out on the call. You joined the call and you're like, "Hey, you guys want to play Trouble in Terrorist Town sometime?"
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know what that is, but I mean, sure, we can do it sometime. And even Greg was like, yeah, I'd be down. And there was that same day.
Oh yeah, I forgot he was in the call when you asked that.
I was in the call. Oh, yeah, I remember that too.
Yeah, he said he would be down, and then it was that same day, that very evening, he left without saying anything.
I remember hearing about it.
Yeah, he didn't message any of us. He didn't, he didn't say anything. He just removed us on he removed us on everything. He removed us on Steam, on Discord. He left Team Grey. He left FFF. He removed us on my anime list. Even he's very thorough. So yeah.
It was something else about the Discord though too. Is like it was at that time that like Mike kind of started because I had just rebuilt my computer earlier this year. So Mike and Harry, I just gave Mike my old computer. He still asks me for upgrades. I know you're listening, Mike. You're not getting the 3080. But Mike started coming in, and Mike had no intention of meeting or learning about new people because he had heard enough about Greg at the time through me talking and like the issues when he first left that he didn't want to do it. So we actually created in Team Grey, there's a couple voice channel calls, Bandit's Den, because Mike's tag is ex-Canadian Bandit, and that included Kasha, unfortunately. So the Bandits then had a max of 3 people, but admins could overrule this. So the only people that could join Bandits Den at the time were the 5 original Team Grey members: Mike, Kyle, myself, Grey, and Scrim.
Mm-hmm.
So then Kasha felt like he was unable to like talk to us when we were down hanging out with Mike in the den, and Greg also felt that, and that was part of the reason why he left, because like he didn't have admin or any power in the Discord because I didn't give him anything. Like the Discord is hierarchy like set up, so like the named roles, we all, for people who aren't in the Discord, we all have named roles. The named roles are like the core members of Team Grey, and if you're a named role specifically after your actual name, you're pretty much an admin, unless otherwise stated. So yeah, he couldn't join those, and it caused a lot of issues because he felt like he was being excluded as a result. That wasn't intentional.
It wasn't intentional, but it also kind of was.
Yeah. So, but it unintentionally excluded Kasha as well. But Kasha just like, he's like, can I just join? There's definitely times where like I didn't get Kasha's message until like way later, and I just saw Kasha sitting alone. I was like, oh, whoops.
Yeah, it was a weird.
It was a weird time, and like I think that's probably partially why you thought it was like you could tell things had changed, because like suddenly things became exclusive in the Discord when prior to that everything had been pretty open. I think.
Well, that and Kyle straight up leaving. But...
Yeah. Yeah, that was a big one. Yeah. So yeah, Greg just up and left again.
Yeah, he left without saying anything, and you know what? It was like, okay, well, he made the hard decision for us because we were like kind of torn between like kicking Greg for no reason and Kyle. But he's like, hey, if he excludes himself, great, let's get Kyle back in here. Though he didn't come back immediately. He kind of came back at his own pace because he was still feeling kind of bad. But once he left, like the rest is kind of history. We continued doing what we do. You finally started becoming a little more active. I don't actually remember why we invited you to Team Gray in the first place, though. I think it might have been for League.
I think it was for League.
Yeah,
for Clash.
League.
It was Clash. Yeah,
Clash.
We invited Bacon and him for Clash.
Yeah.
And that's when I made the spin-off
Roles.
The
Yeah.
spin-off roles like Scrim Squad, Kyle's crew, Colin's clique, Kasha's comrades. There's too many K's and K sounds.
Yeah, but I mean,
yeah.
at that point though, the rest is pretty much history because you've been a little more active lately. You even got your own named role. You're one of the members. That's right. So
you've made it into one of the core members.
You know what it is we do and why we do it. Probably. I guess a little bit of tidbit is like I guess Greg randomly messaged us like a few days ago.
Yeah.
I think he wanted to try and make up again. There's like no way we're adding him back, like ever. No way, absolutely not. And I do remember mentioning it that he was actually on your stream like 4 or 5 streams ago.
Yeah, I remember that.
Sense. That's right.
I didn't know who that was at the. Yeah.
He was specifically watching when Final and I were playing.
Yeah.
That's right.
And
he's followed Final before in the past and then unfollowed him because like I'm a moderator on Final's stream now, and
I noticed that. Yeah,
I saw that he'd followed right at the start of the stream when I started playing, and I was like, oh, I don't want to do this.
Yeah, I mean, he actually added me on Steam first, and we just talked. He was telling me about how he'd love Persona 4 Golden. I was like, oh no, we're talking casually. I'm not gonna ever hang out with you. He even intoned that he wanted to hang out, but I was just dodging the issue. Like, nope, you're gonna be an acquaintance, and that's at best. That's it, no more. So, yeah, that was actually the day, and he actually joined FFF that day, and he messaged us because you can't really message people on Discord unless they're either in the same server as you or your friend.
He specifically couldn't message myself, and was it Gray?
Yeah, I think so.
That has that setting because he'd already messaged you.
Yeah.
But I was like, because at this point I had blocked him because I had called him toxic and something I didn't want in my life. So the second time he left, he messaged me on like every single thing saying like, oh, it's funny how you haven't removed a toxic person from this, and just like actually going at me. And I was like, I'm not dealing with this. I didn't want to reiterate some of the messages I received because I was done with it at this point.
Yeah, we're like so done. So yeah, he messaged us all. I ignored him. Colin blocked him. I think Kasha said he also blocked him. I don't know if you ever tried to message Kasha because Kasha's
no, he didn't. I just preemptively blocked him.
Yeah, so he wouldn't know. I don't think he messaged Gray, but he hung out in FFF for like 3 hours. He didn't say anything, and he left.
I mean, he added me on things. But
he did?
So yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but he actually ended up leaving FFF again, and then he removed me on Steam because that's how he added me first place. So I was like, again, he just ghosted me. But you know what? Whatever. I don't care. You're out of my life. But I mean, besides that, that's pretty much the end of the story.
That's the truth.
Yeah, you came in after all of this happened, and I came in after most of it happened. But I was there for the second.
Like Kasha honestly did replace Greg, and I'm very thankful for Kasha, like Scrim finding Kasha, because like he's a lot better. It feels bad saying that about people, but at the same time, I don't have any qualms about saying that Kasha's just a better person.
And you, Final, you're just like, you're really nice people to hang out with. I don't feel like stressed out around you. I don't like.
Yeah, like it was getting to the point where like we'd be in a call and I was just like, I don't know how to word things or what I want to say because I feel like I might get attacked for saying them.
Yeah.
Dude.
Whereas like I joke and I say things and I'm like, I like make like stupid banter at things, but I don't like. If I say something, you'll know if I mean it or not because I'll be like, yo, no, fuck this. But like the whole thing, like jungler gank me when Cautious in the jungler, like I'm just fucking around being like, oh, Cautious, you're a piece of shit, you don't gank my lane, but like I'm usually the jungler. But like it's just banter. Whereas with Greg,
I'm not kidding.
with Greg, it didn't feel like that. And I just remember I remember the one game in League that I was playing with Greg where I was just like, I'm so fucking done with this.
Yeah,
I was playing Lissandra. Or no, I wasn't. I was playing Aphelios. Yeah, I was playing Aphelios mid. I know I shouldn't have been doing it, but like, holy fucking shit. I wanted to murder him.
It's like exactly the sort of thing you would expect in like playing League with somebody like that. like they would just be like, oh yeah, well at the end of the game I got the kill, so
he was always about the kills and stuff like that. So as the
those
jungler,
are so
like,
annoying.
he felt like he did everything. So like I was playing Aphelios mid and like I went 0-16 or something like that. It was awful, but like I was shoved in my turret the entire time with like 2-3 people there at times. Like the game was going poorly, but like they obviously just decided they were gonna ruin my day. And Greg was like, oh, you didn't come to help me in jungle when they invaded me. I'm like, I am a 0-16 fucking Aphelios 7 minutes into the game. What the hell do you want me to do? And like he yelled at me at the end of the game, blaming the entire thing on me. As like I left. I straight up left the call. I don't know if you guys remember that, but like I left. I was so fucking done at that point. And yeah, I haven't been like that angry in a long time. So like over a League game, because the League is something I get off work to play with my friends to like have fun. And like I've been enjoying League a lot more as a result of that, because I'm like treating it more like a game rather than something I want to like spend a lot of time. Like I spend a lot of time on it, but I'm enjoying it because I'm learning and having fun at my pace instead of just trying to improve fast and do the best. I try to learn slowly now, and it's gone a lot better. But like it was just a really toxic environment.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say earlier, though, Gray? I know Colin was kind of cutting you off there.
Oh, my apologies. I'm bad for that.
Yes, you are.
I'm trying to get better.
It's all good, dude.
I always try to apologize when that happens.
Are you there, though, Gray?
Well, sorry, I just took my headset off for a second because my earbud.
Okay, I was just wondering what you were trying to say earlier.
I don't even remember.
Okay. But yeah, that is pretty much the end of the lore. I do want to say that, like, you know, it's been like we're coming up on 5 years since we hung out. You know, we do want to do it again. I know there are some issues with traveling, but if there's ever a chance for like all of us, including you and Kasha, final to come, or we could go there. I don't know, whatever the plan is. It'd be fun for sure.
Yeah.
I think it'd be a really good time. That I can actually play Yu-Gi-Oh with you.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Classic with my decks that are like 10 years out of
my
date.
decks are also pretty out of date, so I don't know.
You don't need any. I've got plenty.
But Gray, don't you have the pre-errata Chaos Emperor Dragon?
Well, I don't even know where my deck is anymore.
Oh, no.
I hope Colin just dresses like Seto Kaiba and brings
a
around
briefcase full of
with, like,
decks.
decks in them.
I mean, I could bring my backpack, which like when I have my backpack like full up with like the cards that I need to bring for things, it weighs over 50 pounds. So
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
it's a lot of cards. But yeah. Oh, I guess that's a little thing. I don't know if you guys started that off, but like one of the first things we did on Skype, other than Xbox, was we played Skype. Trust what your opponent says, Yu-Gi-Oh.
What the hell?
Oh boy, that was a time. Flint and Flintlock. Oh my lordy.
Did you guys even use like cameras to see?
No, we literally told each other what we had in our hands and we played off trust. It was
each other.
No,
I mean, we didn't.
Well, no, the way we didn't have any cannons. We just played with our decks facing nothing. Assuming we didn't. I can't tell if you guys were doing that. That's what I was doing. But we just took turns. We had to describe our field and everything.
Yeah.
And in particular, we weren't like playing by any traditional 1v1. It was a free for all duel.
Oh my god.
And because Gray, like I said, he used Triarada Chaos Emperor Dragon. And if you know what Chaos Emperor Dragon does, he like nukes the field, then you take damage, you kill the cards that were banished.
Hey,
But
it also nukes your hand.
In your hand.
in your hand, sorry, yes, of course. And so with not only usually there are 2 fields that are being nuked, there are 3 fields this time because there are 3 of us. That's a lot of damage going around, and we're like, how do we distribute this damage? And then we're like, we don't. We just take the damage, whatever.
Yeah. We just die.
We just
Oh
die.
my god.
So yeah, that was like
was
I'd always liked Yu-Gi-Oh, so I started getting into it more, and then Mike and I got into it more, and then Mike stopped playing, but I kept into it because it was something to do after some traumatic events in my life. So it was my distraction locally, other than having my friends online. So I got really into Yu-Gi-Oh, and now nobody plays it with me.
Was that also when you were into Magic, or?
I've been into Magic. Magic has been on and off for many years. Right now, I'm more into Magic because I have another friend group, and it's just harder for me to like go to, because there's a couple shops in my city. The one is like a 30-minute drive from where I live. It's literally across the town. The one's like I work at the other one as a secondary job, and it's 10 minutes away. So it's a lot easier to play. So like Saturdays, I don't want to drive all the way across town to go play Yu-Gi-Oh. Whereas like Magic, I can play on my way home from work, and it's right there. And I met a new friend group, so I've been playing Commander in Magic for a while now. But Yu-Gi-Oh is still like my first game. I love it and I hate it, but that's a lot of games.
I just had a funny thought that all of you have like a specialization in
That's
games.
what I say too. Like we all sort of split off into our own genre, or I guess I wouldn't say genre, but at least like our own game. Like
Our own niche, yeah.
Colin's like the card game guy. Kyle is like TFT, I guess. Like I don't know what that genre is, but
he was like TFT. Yeah, auto chess, but he was like TFT of StarCraft. Like he loved StarCraft.
Yeah, he liked the StarCraft custom games.
Yeah, like in general, he also technically played MOBAs. Like he's probably like the most like in the know about League out of all of us.
Yeah.
And maybe he did play like a lot of HOTS. Like I remember he was like super high in HOTS at one point.
Yeah.
He's just like the MOBA kind of guy, I guess.
Mike's the Halo guy.
Yeah, Mike.
FPS.
Yeah, definitely the FPS guy.
Gray's the MMO. And and because of that, actually, we all kind of branched out and had different friend groups as well. Through like their own games. Like Colin mentioned, his card game friends. Gray has his raid group. They hang out and do their own thing too, outside of raiding.
Yeah.
Technically, mine was you guys, but now you're here. So
Yeah,
Scrim was the anime. Scrim's the anime guy and the BlazBlue guy. Specifically BlazBlue. Not other fighters. Don't get it wrong. Scrim doesn't like fighting games. But yeah, so he introduced you guys, and yeah, it's been good. And like I think that like despite everything and like despite us all like learning and liking our own things, we stayed really good friends. So like
that's always good to hear.
A fun fact that we really touched over this, that everybody has like their own like spin-off role, like Scrim Squad, etc. And I remember both technically Kasha and Final did have like the Scrim Squad role at some point, so you got named. But there is one like Gray's Gang, I believe, that's there but unused because you don't have anybody, Gray.
That's true, but you see, here's the thing. I already have this. Besides, like my issues with combining friend groups and stuff like that, it just feels weird to me. There's another reason I do this, is because Team Gray is the only place on the internet where my picture is, and I have to retain like this anonymous.
Gray is forever an enigma.
You know how long like Alec and Jenny have been like, "Hey, you're the only one. We don't know how they look." I'm just like, "Yeah." Yeah, and then they're just like Googling me, like I can't find anything. This guy's a ghost.
If they find this this specific Funcast, they will now know where to look.
Yeah,
they won't have access.
There won't be any way of showing that.
Yeah,
I mean they'll have to bribe the administrative.
The administration's very easy to bribe too, so it's.
I mean, I'm not gonna say I accept bribes, but I'll post my PayPal over here.
Ooh.
But yeah, like the only people that have pictures of Gray are like the people technically in Team Gray, but the core members, like I have a couple pictures from our trip and stuff like that, but like they're specifically I have them. Like they haven't gone anywhere. I know Gray. I know Scrim had the same, and Kyle had a couple pictures too.
It's just like an issue I have with specifically people who I want to like remain or keep as online friends. I guess I just
and that's fair.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't imagine when you first talked to Kyle on MapleStory, you would have expected to like met us and become friends with us through Kyle over times.
Yeah, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna go to fucking Disneyland and we're gonna go to FanFest," and I'm just like, "Wow, that's great. Have fun." It's really nice of them like try to include me, but I'm just like super awkward, so I don't really want.
You didn't know them that much at the time, so that's fair.
Yeah.
Well, I think he's talking about his raid group for those.
For them. Yeah.
But, like as far as online friends go, like I'm like I'm actually like I guess surprisingly close with them. Like especially for Final Fantasy players, like you've
like, gone through some raid groups.
Yeah, like if while you're trying to find a group, you're gonna meet like 50, 100 different people until you find people that you actually click with.
It took you a while.
Yeah, I'm just happy, and like that group had its own drama. That was pretty funny. But,
oh, that was great.
But,
I'm not really in the know about that, but I mean,
I just sent Colin like the transcripts basically.
It's just because like for a great like we all said we have our own little things. I was the only person that actually got into Final Fantasy and actually played with Gray, because he'd been asking us, all of us, to try it forever, and I went through a pretty bad breakup, and I just like finished. I just quit McDonald's, so I had an entire summer off, and I was like, fuck it.
Yeah,
and I just played a ludicrous amount.
But
so he sends me all the memes and drama and stuff, because I know a decent amount of people too, because I'd played with them just like passingly when I was playing with Gray, and so he sends me the memes because I understand the stuff that Final Fantasy might be going on, but also just the drama that goes on in those groups.
They dodged. My Team Gray has dodged Final Fantasy for so long that I just hate the game now. So it's
he went from loving it and wanting us all to play it, and like it was like he was something he was passionate about, wanting to share his like passion with us, to just becoming like jaded as fuck and hating it.
Well, I feel like this happens with a lot of people when like they start to become good at things, is that when they're forced to play around or with people who are awful.
that was me for fighting games with my friend group, because like I remember mentioning this before, but I would be the only one labbing stuff out while everyone else is just literally playing it casually.
But it's not fun for either party at that point.
No, it's not.
It's like the exact same thing with like me and Yu-Gi-Oh. Like when I play, like I specifically remember like when I was really excited for like my Yang Zing, my Metal Foe Yang Zing deck, and I was super excited about it, and I wanted to play and test it. So Scrim was like, "Yeah, I haven't played Yu-Gi-Oh in a while," and I think Scrim heavily regretted that.
It's true.
Because it was getting to the point where like this was like when I was like hardcore into it, so I had gone to nationals and stuff and was placing in like high level tournaments for Yu-Gi-Oh, and so I'm testing out a deck for nationals with like sides, and Scrim's like, I'm gonna play my Red Eyes or my Blue Eyes deck, and I'm like, right. So I mean, it's the same kind of concept.
It's just like saying, Colin, I want to practice for Anime Evo. Do your best. I'm gonna go like Susanoo.
Yeah.
I want you to at least double perfect me so I can practice blocking or something.
I'll do that. Like I'll still do it, and Scrim still played with me, and I really appreciated it before. But like, I realized that this isn't fun for Scrim, because like for the same scenario, that it wouldn't be fun for me and Blaze Blue to like just get my ass handed to me the entire time, because like Scrim would sit there and watch me do a 10-minute turn, and he'd be like, "Is my turn?" I'm like, "No, you're dead."
Shameless plug here. I feel like that's why my genre is a little bit more a little bit superior to yours is because we're playing together.
Yeah, you're playing together, except for when you bring out like the parser and you're like, oh, Colin, your DPS is
Dude,
mine.
okay, listen, I'm not like that, okay? You know I'm not like
You're not like that. But
I will incentivize you to play better, but I'm not gonna like shit on you. Like
no, you're actually pretty good for that, but you definitely did impart somewhat of an elitist mentality into me.
elitists don't even give me that shit. Listen here, you fucking loser. Okay? Is it elitist to want to like show up and fucking do something to help your team?
Yes, Gray, you don't pay for my sub. I can do what I want.
You have to be a certain skill level to be in my presence. Get out of here.
Yeah, so like there are people like that in but Gray's not like that, but like when I
like
first...
if I play with shit players, I'm just gonna like I might meme about them to my friends. I'm not gonna call them out. If my friends are shit, if they make it clear that they don't even give a shit, then I'll probably just back off. But
thankfully for me, I wasn't the worst.
well, it's like it's not even about being bad, right? It's like you always tried to get better. You even like looked at stuff, and it was fun to play with you, and it was fun to see your progress. And then you even got that your own raid group that one time. That was super cool.
Yeah,
I'd be down with any of you guys.
My first tier, the first raid tier that I ever got to play, and I completed it.
Oh, that was so funny.
Yeah. Hey, Gray, I can say that though. You didn't complete your first raid tier.
That's true. In my defense though, your first raid tier was Alpha Escape. So or not Alpha Escape, it was Delta Escape.
Was it Alpha?
No, it was Delta.
Yeah, it was Delta because it went Delta, Sigma, Alpha, right?
So,
but
and I cleared that shit in like 2 weeks with a casual group.
For people on Twitch, you can actually go and see Xeonosis Vex. You can't find the VOD, but I am glad he was going around like it was the last night that I could possibly clear this.
Xenosis is like one of the biggest
Final Fantasy
streamers. So he's like got 600 viewers.
He was joining random pugs because my static had disbanded at this point. So I was just trying to get it, and I was pugging it with Gray. Gray was trying to help me out, and I was doing well, and I knew the fight. But the one time Xeno joined, and I have his stream open because I watched him with Gray, and he's just ripping into me. He's like, this poor bard has no idea what the hell he's doing. Like, every time he's done something like that, I just did something else stupid. And it happened to be my clear, and I was like, oh no. And it was just immortalized on his stream for like 2 years until it finally got removed due to just being old. And I was like, oh. But like Gray pulled that up a couple times and sent it to me again. I was like, man, you gotta do this to me.
No, dude, that was sick. He fucking cleared. It was awesome.
Yeah, I was watching the stream too. I was like, Colin, you suck.
There was this one fucking mechanic where the boss like slams his fist down and like the tank is supposed to tank it, and I just brain farted and I was like, I must stand here. The bard, the ranged GPS, and I just got messed. I just got absolutely crushed.
That's definitely one of my favorite moments in Final Fantasy.
And Xeno's just like, this poor dumb bard has no idea what the fuck he's doing, and I'm like, no, I know it. Hey, we got want to become big famous by followers.
I do.
Not this again.
Oh my god.
I do want to become famous. That's why I'm here in the first place.
Wait,
this is the stepping stone.
Wait, hold on a second. I'm not even famous.
That's why I said you're a stepping stone.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all have our own little like things, and we're all like, we all excel at our thing, and we all want each other to play our things, but
well,
we can.
Yeah, I mean, Gray touched upon this earlier, but like it was the time, like right when I was like, okay, Gray, I'll give Final Fantasy a try. It was the time where I was like, okay, Gray, I'll give it a try. He's like, no, Scrim, don't do it. And I'm like, no, I'm getting mixed signals. And when I started playing it, it's nothing really on you, Gray, but you weren't really too motivating about me playing it. So I was like, okay, I guess I'll play a little.
It's like I just assumed that like you wouldn't like it, but I mean I'm down to like play with people. It's just like a lot of it is just grinding the story quest, right?
Yeah, we were gonna do that though.
I mean, I'm still down. Like, now that
is gonna do it.
My biggest issue, which is still my biggest issue, is paid subscriptions. But now that I don't really have that excuse anymore, because I believe it was the very first expansion or whatever, is free to play if you use a trial account. I'm definitely gonna do that. Like, I'm not gonna put off like you and Muv-Love, but
okay, buddy, you've been putting it off pretty well so far.
Hey, man, I played more Final Fantasy. You played Muv-Love Alternative. I'll tell you that right now.
I play more Muv-Love than you play more Final Fantasy.
I said alternative.
I know, but that is still only barely. That is still only barely.
I haven't.
That's not even true. You're like 20 minutes into Muv-Love. I have like 3 hours of gameplay on Final Fantasy 14, Gray.
Dude, I could catch up to you in like 2.5 hours.
I'm just saying. But anyways, I do definitely do plan on doing it. Definitely 100% this year. It's just I was actually gonna do it like when the thing hit, like the free expansion for Jaro, but that also happened to coincide right around the time the lottery box event came out in Fake Go, which is like one of my main games. You should check it out. Fake Grand Order for the mobile phone. Yeah.
Login simulator.
Yeah, log in every day. So yeah, so I've been farming. I actually just finished farming today. Like I hit my 600 boxes.
Oh, nice.
So.
That's a topic again. Scrim pressuring people to play Fate Go, and I was the final one to crack.
That's true. Everybody in this call I've pressured to play Fate Go at least once.
It was a moment of weakness.
It was, and I knew it was a bad idea.
I got to like chapter 1 and stopped.
Yeah, but I mean, you don't know that yet. We'll see. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
It'll be like, Mike, I'll play Apex Legends with you if you play Fake.
I mean, I could.
Mike will crumble.
Yo, Mike actually might do that. Yeah, to get Scrim to play an FPS that's not Halo. Damn.
Yeah. So, anyways, on top of it, goes. So I was the other lottery box event. Immediately after the lottery box event, there's gonna be another event. No breaks for me. But probably after that, I'm gonna finish the next one as soon as possible. I did want to play Devil May Cry 5. That was like next on my priorities. And then after that, I think I'll start Final Fantasy.
Yeah, and then Kasha can join, and then Final can join.
I'm gonna join Final Fantasy when I stop playing fighting games. That's gonna be my retirement home.
Yeah, that's what fighting games go to MMOs. So wash up.
Yeah.
Any pro player in it.
Final. How much have you seen me playing Final Fantasy lately?
Not much.
Like not at all, right?
Not at all. Yeah.
Well,
I'm literally like one of the top tier players in that game. Like you don't have to do anything to begin.
Wait, but aren't you still paying for like the subscriptions and stuff?
Oh yeah. I mean, like I pay $15 a month or whatever, and I get like 8 raid nights out of that.
Nice.
And, you know that's
$2 a raid.
Yeah, we got a famous Final Fantasy raider here. Great.
Great. Please watch his stream when he raids.
Yeah, you know, rank 1 in T for speed, but it's whatever.
Nice.
You know?
Nice.
You know, just
whatever. Rank 1 in the world. Yeah.
Ooh.
No, it's actually not rank 1, but it was rank 1 for a while. And even when it was rank 1, it still wasn't rank 1 because it was slower than the last patch. It's just all.
Hey man, but
you take those.
Just like how I'm technically the #1 Tager PSR in CS Extended.
That's right. You're a god. You're a legend.
Forever.
I'm not the best Tager player in the world. I'm probably not even the best Tager player in Canada, but I'm the best Tager PSR in CS Extend, and you can't take that away from me.
Are there other Tager players in Canada?
Mustache Villain.
Mustache Villain?
Yeah.
Isn't that Command Throw guy in Canada or no?
I don't know. But I mean, to be very specific, I do think I'm better than Mustache Villain as a Tager player, but he knows more about Tager than me. I think I'm a better player.
Well, as a player, you're better, but as a Tager player.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. He knows definitely more about Tager than me. But that's a little off topic. I just wanted to say that I'm the best. You can't take that away from me.
We're on that topic. I'm like,
but I don't have a niche. Like, I just am like mid-level and everything.
Oh, yeah, but like...
No, you got League. Or you
I mean, I wouldn't say I'm like miles ahead of you guys at all.
Yeah, actually, we had this discussion. We were like, me, Gray, and Kyle were talking about where would you rank the Team Gray members in terms of skill in League of Legends? And
no.
Yeah, and like the general consensus was Gray's the best. We cannot contest.
Yes,
but
I agree.
But the second place was the debate between Kasha or Final when he's just like going hard on Yasuo, like the one trick Yasuo.
Oh, I can do other things.
Well, actually, I think your AD carry is really good too. To be fair.
Oh, really?
Don't worry, Final. You'll never occupy the bottom seat. It will only be me.
I think that's Mike.
Oh, fair. I guess, yeah, we're counting Mike. Yay, thanks for like the scrape on the bottom of the barrel.
I had a pretty bottom tier AD carry bot lane experience yesterday.
I think personally my AD carry is way better than my mid lane, like by a substantial margin, in my opinion.
Yeah, but if you're AD carry, you're still playing Yasuo, and your Yasuo is the best.
Oh no, even your Kaisa is really good. So
No, your Kaisa is better than Kasha's Israel.
yeah, I
Kasha's
Kasha's Ezreal
You're fine.
To be fair, AD carry is the most recent role in my league career, and I've only really learned it. Actually, you were there when I started learning.
Yeah. But yeah,
actually,
I personally think Corey is a way better player than I am fundamentally.
but I was actually bringing this up also to say that one of the reasons why people were talking about why they like having Kasha on the team is because he's a very good flex. He can go like literally anywhere, and you can trust him to do his job no matter where he is.
Yeah.
Except for Ezreal. So I was just going
and maybe Lee Sin.
So that's very useful to have on a team, and you know what? That translates to, I guess, quote unquote, your specialty, because I can trust you to play any game and at least do all right.
Yeah, like
you're good at Blaze Blue. You're good at AMQ. You're good at League of Legends.
I know if Kasha played Final Fantasy, he'd be 95 percentile in whatever he played.
There you go.
Honestly, whenever it comes to any games, I don't tell Corey this enough, but I don't try to help him as much. It's because I'm confident in his abilities to become good at it. Or at least, yeah. I don't, because I know I don't need to hold his hand compared to other people, right? Because I'm just confident enough that where he is a good enough player, regardless of whatever video game he plays, that he's going to do well.
Because it takes me a while to learn, but I'm totally down to keep grinding for the most part. And I think I like learning on my own, so I don't really I accept advice, but I don't go out of my way to seek it from anybody.
Yeah, that's fair. That actually kind of reminds me of Mike. Specifically, is like Mike. In the same regard, when he sets his mind to something, he just becomes he gets very good at it because he goes out of his way to learn things. Like, he's very fast learning. He's very good in picking things up, and like he's shown it to me time and time again. Where like we'll play a game and like he started picking up chess like a month and a half ago, and like I was better than him at the start. Now I can't beat him. Just stuff like that. Like camping, him and my brother was like teaching him camping things like 2 weeks ago, and like he's just getting super into that. But it's always been the same thing for like games and stuff. He just picks things up so fast and gets really good at them. And like I'm very confident like if he actually liked League and picked it up, he'd be very, very good.
Yeah, but he wouldn't be Gray. Gray is undisputedly the best League player.
He is. I've never seen a top laner as good as Gray before in my life.
I've never seen a top laner just hate themselves as much as Gray does, while also winning.
Gives him the power.
Yeah, I know. If I like a game, then I'd probably suck at that game.
Fair.
Hatred is what drives Gray.
So we got Gray at the top. Then you said, who was the next?
Well, that's the thing. Like we were talking about it with Kyle and Gray. It was just like, who would you put second? It was like I said, it was a debate between Final and Kosh.
The only thing I have for League is like my mechanical skill. That's it. I don't have anything else.
You're really, really good in team fights.
I love that the debate is between Final's Yasuo and Kasha's
just like all of his characters.
So Kasha's better, but Final's Yasuo is a contender. So if you take away Final's Yasuo, Kasha obviously.
What am I?
I think you are better laning, and you're better with Yasuo, but you don't. I think I'm.
No, I'm telling you guys. It's like Corey's a better player because he's fundamentally better. The only thing I have is mechanical skill. That is it.
That's important.
Well, yeah, that's important. But the thing is that sometimes I'm going to make simple mistakes, right? Or I'm more prone to making simple mistakes than Corey.
You weren't here last night, okay?
Oh.
Oh, you were here last
I was.
night. How can you even say this?
What do you mean?
It's true. Well, funnily enough, despite how badly I lost bot lane 4 times in a row last game, I actually made it back to a point where I actually did a lot of damage.
Yeah.
City carry for you sometimes.
Well, 2 of them were victor games, so I don't know if you can call that
never mind then. But that actually does remind me, like, because I think I've been getting steadily better at League just because I've been going out of my way to try and learn.
I agree.
I mean,
Sorry?
honestly, I'd probably
your jungle's a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, like if you put you on jungle and then me on support, I think you're a better player than me personally, Colin.
I'll take that. But actually, a lot of the reason I think I've been getting better lately, and it's gonna be weird, but is partially because there was a good portion of the time in Team Grey where I was no longer jungling. I started jungling when I first started playing, but Greg actually jungled, and Greg was more of a one trick than Final.
I'm not that big of a one trick.
Like, so much so that like Greg had more like mastery points on Shyvana than Scrim did on Nami for a bit.
No way,
he
really?
still does.
Oh,
Like,
he still does, yeah.
Yeah, like when Greg played a disgusting amount of League back when like he was a part of like the main members of Team Grey, and then he quit League when he quit playing with us because he only really played League because we played League.
Which is like 3 years ago.
Yeah, it's 3 years. Then he comes back to League for a little bit for like the little 8-month stay he had here, and he still had more mastery points than me because he had like 1.3 million Shyvana points or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, he like only played Shyvana, and then he had a secondary Mundo that was like, I don't know, like 200,000 mastery points.
So like, I
That's
had
still a
to go
lot.
to a different lane because I was better at learning than he was, because you just couldn't put him in another lane.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was so bad.
Mhm.
Like, I remember him like trying to support me one time because I ended up in 80 carry somehow. It was such a weird thing because he wanted to support me.
Mhm.
I think mainly just to fuck with me, and he went to support Mundo, and holy fucking
He's
shit.
actually memeing. Holy cow.
Yeah, so like he was a hard one trick, and like we just couldn't put him anywhere but jungle. So if he didn't get jungle, it was just bad.
Mhm.
So yeah, I had to try and learn other things, and that's when I first started dipping my toes into like 80 carry and mid, and that's why I have like a shit ton of mastery points on a bunch of mid champions, is because like for like 4 years I played mid, but I had no idea how to play mid because like for the 4 years prior to that, all I did was jungle Warwick. So
Yeah.
but now I'm back in jungle, and like I've been learning about like lanes and how to manage
I mean,
them and
I
stuff
feel
like
like the real reason you're improving is just because you're actually like taking that step to look up.
You're looking up things
and apply
right?
your knowledge.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah, you have more
yeah.
awareness now.
yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
before, there'd be times when you played Warwick and you would get ahead, and then you would literally like chase them all the way to the jungle and then die for no reason.
I remember that. That was funny.
Those are like, I still have moments like those. You'll see me start to chase them, but then you'll see me back off. Like, wait, I can't do this. But at the same time, though, like even like my level 1, like I know what I can do with Warwick, and people just don't expect him to be able to duel as well as he can at early levels. Man, I love that champion. It's so fun. Like, people think he's like a super simple champion, and he is, but like there's some nuance to him, and I really like the fact that like you knowing when to use your Q to like interrupt something, because like I can't remember what it was recently, but like I was got into a jungle fight at like level 1, and the enemy jungler had a CC, and I queued through it and just absolutely wrecked them, and it made me feel so good.
Yeah,
because like there's no way I should have lived if I hadn't done that. But I also take like the masteries for like last stand and like the one that you get like increased healing when you're lower on health. So like they're attacking me and my Warwick has like 25 HP, but suddenly I heal like 80 and they're like, what?
that's the one thing I'll never have over you guys who play champions like a ton, but only 1 or 2 champions.
Just like nuanced knowledge of a specific champion.
Well, I can usually guess like the core idea and mechanics of what it is, but if you're playing like, let's say like Darius, and if you've ever played against a really good Darius player, like they can calculate like, oh, I'm down 500 health, but I can still win this fight here as long as I get the passive off and he's correct. And I'll never have that, I think.
Yeah. I've actually noticed that recently when I've been playing Warwick. We'll get into like late game team fights, and you guys are start backing off, and I'm like, wait, no, come back in. It's happened a couple of times. I'm like, wait, stay fight, keep fighting, because like you guys think I'm gonna die, and then I haven't, and we ended up winning the fight, and I was like, yay, I know things.
It's true.
But because like I don't know, a lot of people just expect certain things to happen, and like as I play Warwick and learn a little bit more, I'm like, I can actually stay if I hit this person to get the increased tailing and stuff like that. So little things I'm starting to pick up on that I am enjoying. Also, that laning stint with AD carry actually helped me a lot, because now I know I have a better idea as to how lanes are going to act, because I can look at the lane and be like, oh, it's doing this, and actually know what the fuck that means.
Yeah, let me know if you want to play top lane, dude.
Yeah.
You can really take this off my hands.
I think it's really important that if you want to improve in League, that you should also learn how to play the other roles as well.
I'm down to learn top lane, even though I fucking hate playing against all the top lane champions.
Well, I mean, I said this the other day, but I'm actually like feeling super nice in top lane right now. Like, I have a champion pool now.
Mm-hmm.
I have Nara, I've got Yone, Gangplank, Set.
Yeah, that's good.
You've got a set amount of things that, rather than just being like, hey, when you first started playing, you didn't have anybody that you could pick.
Just Set, and
you just felt like you would, like, if they picked a Mordekaiser or a Darius, all I remember is you just being like, oh, fucking shit. You would just be so salty the entire game because you had no idea what to do. But now you have like at least a knowledge of like which champions you like playing into those two, for example. Because I know those are two of probably your biggest like fuck.
No, it's really just Camille now. But I mean,
that's
what about Orin?
I mean, Orin's fine. He's just like absolutely broken at every weight, right?
Well, the thing with Orin is like he's not gonna like. If you play nice with Orin in lane, he's not going to do anything to you. But the problem is he's Orin, and he's just going to.
That's not true. You're lying to me. Don't lie to me.
No, I'm not gonna be calling. No,
Yeah.
no,
I mean,
no.
He's a liar. Don't listen to him.
No. Orin isn't like Camille or Darius or Ward, where you slip up once and you're just absolutely fucked for the rest of the game. But Orin will absolutely shit on you.
Well, I'm not. That's what I'm saying. I'm like saying like you can't like he's not gonna just blow you up, but like he'll progressively just like ruin the game for you because he's just progressively gonna outscale you.
I just remember last night we were watching Worlds, and that poor Ashe was hitting the Ornn for 16 whole seconds, and he still didn't die.
But that's what I'm saying. Like that's I'm agreeing with you guys. I'm saying like if you play nice against Ornn, he's just gonna eventually run over you because he becomes like a hyper disgusting tank. Like we played against one a little while ago, and like I remember being fed in that game, and I just did absolutely nothing to him. I was like, holy shit.
The reason I don't mind Ornn is because I feel like I can do something against him. Early. Like when that game where I played Yone and I fed him, it was literally just mechanical errors at that.
Mm-hmm.
And if I just executed properly, I would have taken that game away. But,
he just he makes his entire team like stronger than your team at the end of the game though. So like if everybody gets to full build, like the Ornn team is probably gonna win just because of the sheer stat advantage they have. He gives so much stats.
And you know, even though he's building full tank, he still manages to one shot your AD carry.
Yeah, man, they're brittle. Literally. His brittle does so much damage late game, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Percent health, man. What percent health of the AD carry, you ask? 100%.
Alright. I have to go eat, but I have a question, and it's probably not even really relevant to this cast. But what lane am I playing if we do Clash again?
That depends on the people we have available.
Yeah, it's either going to be mid or bot, I'm pretty sure.
Because, let's say we have the main 5 of us available, then you'd probably be mid. But maybe Gray not be available, maybe Kyle not be here, and you probably have to fill in for one of them. Maybe Colin might not be here. You could jungle, but that's what I was saying earlier, right? You're the flex pick. And that's
yes, but I think I'm no longer at the level where I can just come back and do a lane having not played them in forever and still do my job correctly. At least up to my...
When's the next Clash?
I don't know.
There was one that just happened and we missed it.
What?
No, there wasn't. I remember like this entire month is a break from Clash. It's like I'm pretty sure it's in October next.
It's like
If
in
by
the first week of October, I think.
If by there's one that we missed, we definitely did miss one because I remember Gray wasn't really feeling up to League at the time, which is fair. But
Yeah,
that was like
it was like a month ago. Well,
that wasn't just that was like a month ago.
But like I say just because like this year has just been that it's been so fast. Like it's going into October. I feel like it's still January. Like this year has just flown by because of everything going on with COVID and stuff.
Okay, let's take a quick look. Clash is available on October 10th.
Nice.
So that is Saturday.
2
of
weeks.
course.
Mhm.
2 weeks.
I am dead.
Okay, so that means we don't have Colin. So
Kyle is dead.
okay, so then we would need 2 replacements. That means I'm not even sure if we can do it.
That is Mike's wedding.
Well, actually, there is there's Clash October 10th, 11th, then 17th and 18th. So immediately the next week as well.
Oh, I can probably do it on the 17th. But yeah, the 10th is Michael's wedding. So
Yeah,
you'll
so-
all be gone.
Oh no,
Yeah.
it would just be Colin and Kyle because unfortunately Gray and I are not able to attend.
yeah,
Sure.
they were both invited, but due to COVID restrictions and such, we couldn't actually get them out.
Okay.
Because
That's
originally, sorry.
I do feel like pretty fucking bad about it, but
Well, it's
I-
okay. Like Mike and I were
okay.
trying to figure out how we were gonna get you, and like we had a slight plan, but COVID kind of ruined everything, and then we were like, okay, we can't even do that because like leaving the province that way. We were just gonna make a road trip out of it. We were gonna
Yeah.
come get you and be like, hey, Gray, here you go, let's go. Because I know me being a big guy, I know planes are fucking awful at times. So like we were just gonna do that, but everything kind of that's why we want to do like the trip next year at some point, because like it feels really bad that you can't come and that Scrim can't come. So because like for people watching, like Mike's wedding was gonna be a really big event for all of us because like we were all gonna be able to hang out together. Like I was taking time off, Kyle took time off. It was gonna be a really good time, but things have changed quite drastically. Even in the last like 2 weeks, like the restrictions changed again. So now we can't even do like they've had to cancel and change their plans like 4 times now. So like we can only have 10 people in a room again. So like
Yeah, I think this is also gonna be like the first year where I don't celebrate my own birthday just because I can't. I usually just go out to eat with my family and 2 close friends of mine who live in the same city, or 3 close friends. But I don't think I can do it this year simply just because the virus. That kind of sucks.
Unfortunately.
very. But yeah, so that's the history of Team Gray.
Yeah. So
A
before
lot of
you
extra details.
before you head out, I guess Kasha, do you or Final have any questions about Team Gray? Now that you are members of this illustrious organization.
Am I really just known for my Yasuo?
Yes.
Well,
I think you play well or best on Yasuo
I'm
and
kidding.
even
I'm
Yone.
kidding.
You know what? Final. Here's my honest take on this.
Oh.
Because of your long history of Yasuo play, you've gotten so good at getting shit on that when you get shit on, you can come back and like no matter what champ you're on, you're still gonna be strong.
Oh
You can't get
man.
in stride.
Into Yasuo. Good
I
job.
think your ability on Yasuo / Yone could be transferred to other AD assassins. It's just that I don't know if you would like playing them.
I probably wouldn't like playing them.
Don't
Yeah.
worry, we're gonna get a bunch of new stuff because I don't know if you guys saw the roadmap, but there's like a bunch of stuff coming up, and I can give you details on that later if you'd like.
Oh yeah, you haven't tried Samira yet, have you? Final.
I tried her, I tried to, but it's hard getting a game with her.
Yeah. She was also nerfed extremely hard day 1, so.
Yeah.
Well, no one will play her in me and Scrim's presence anymore because we just destroyed that scenario, right?
Yeah, we did. I remember she destroyed me in lane, so I was AP Malphite. I destroyed her for the rest of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I know the feeling.
Yeah, I guess you weren't there. It was yesterday, Colin. But my friends coerced me into playing AP Malphite support. So
It was fun.
we got
Last
smashed in lane.
Sounds like you
Last
had a
game
good
of the
time.
day.
Yeah, we were at an 11K gold deficit.
Yeah, Gray sent you the picture actually.
Yeah, he did send me a picture. I
Yeah.
was really confused as to what the heck was going on.
Yeah,
And
we were just
alright, you won.
so behind, but we actually managed to come back.
We had
good.
We had
2 and 16 Cossacks.
Honestly though, like Gray allowed us to just live long enough for everyone else to get strong.
Yeah, that reminds me of the game, like the one game where you were the Yumi scrim, because we were behind about 9K in that game as well, and then we slowly just crept back in. Those games, I like those games though, but like it really sucks when you lose them.
If we can come back from an 11K deficit, why couldn't V3? Jesus.
Because they didn't have the awesome combo of Yasuo Yone
It's true.
They didn't even have
Malphite.
and the Malphite.
I was gonna say the Malphite sounds like it was a pretty important part there.
Well, kind of. Not really.
Irvin and I existed to do AP damage.
Yeah.
Hey man, that's an important part of the game sometimes.
I mean, half the time I also just died before the fight started because I was AP Malphite and there was a LeBlanc. But when I was alive, I at least managed to get my ult off, which is all I could really do.
Yeah.
That's true.
Fair enough. I really like Warwick and his AP damage. I can't play 80 characters. That's what I've learned. I just can't do it. AP is the only thing I can do apparently. So
You just bad at right clicking people when you're ranged. That's it.
yeah. But I can do it when I'm melee. It's really easy when I'm
When
melee.
you're melee, you can right click people, but
Because I've been doing it, like even like but even when I did like when I was playing 80 carry for that short period of time, I noticed that like even just like my knowledge and like my conscious decision of like, hey, I need to auto attack this person, like with like Hecarim and stuff. Because there was a couple times where like I remember those Hecarim games I was playing where I was doing really well. And I came in ganked for you top, and like it looked like you were gonna get away, but I was like, I know Hecarim has this weirdly extended hitbox for some reason on his auto attack, and I managed to secure the kill with it. And it's just like, And I never would have tried that until I learned about attack ranges and how they work and how you can cancel auto attacks at specific points to get like increased range and stuff like this. It's weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, you learn.
Yep.
No more questions then.
Well, I don't know. Did you have any questions? All right, you already asked one.
I already asked mine.
That's not a real question. Try another one.
What are you talking?
Come on, Yasuo.
No. No.
Eventually, you and
Here's
I have
my
to have a
question.
Funcast.
Yeah, we do.
My last question is: after I eat, are we all gonna play League and Apex for 8 hours straight?
And
No.
I'm
Yes.
done. I'm done farming now, so I can do whatever you want that isn't Apex until Bandit plays Fate and Order.
Until Mike, you're the only one Mike you have to do.
what if Mike plays 100 games of Blaze Blue with you? Not enough, damn.
Nah, I'm a different man than I was before. I mean, I'm totally down for 100 games of Blaze Blue with anybody here right now. But
You're not desperate for it anymore. You.
I just, no offense to Bandit's Blaze Blue skills, but I'd want more of a challenge if I'm gonna play 100 games. I think I'd be
Insinuating that the rushdown Lambda style is not up to par.
Actually, I remember there was this like one day, like Bandit's like, I'll play Blaze Blue with Scrim, and he played like one game on your account, and he's just like the rest definitely shows. Like, of course, like he's like 3 games behind, hasn't played in like 5 years. So I don't expect anything, but I'm just saying, like,
But I want at you as Lambda.
Yeah, that's true. You can never escape that.
Yeah, Mike had a very unique style because like Kyle was very much like a traditional new player. He wanted to be on the opposite side of the screen from you and just shooting swords at you, whereas Mike dashed directly at you and tried to knee you in the face.
Yeah, back in CT, they both played new. I believe I mentioned that, but yeah, Kyle was a very zoning heavy new, and Bandit was like the rush down new, which she could do both because she was just really broken at the time. But they eventually split new into two characters, where Lambda is more okay with dashing in, and new is the dedicated zoner. So they actually technically both play different characters now, despite both playing the same character at the start.
That's
Because the characters
thing.
split the two.
Mike specifically still plays new.
Well, I do remember that.
Lambda. He hates Lambda.
No, there was like the time when you came to Edmonton and we did the tournament, which you lost to Kyle. But
that was because of a controller.
Yeah, probably. Honestly, yeah.
Controller was so bad.
But yeah, Bandit played Lambda there, and then Kyle played new.
Yeah, but like when we were playing, like the 3 games we were talking about recently, he specifically wanted to play new and rush down at you, and I was like, Mike, no, she doesn't do that. But it's Mike. Once he has something in his once he sets his mind on something, that's how it goes. So yeah, that's the thing. But yeah, no, I am not playing League after this because I was camping this weekend and I was awake all last night. I did not sleep. The ground was hard, and I am very excited for my bed.
I forgot to eat dinner.
I need to eat.
I was supposed to be in bed like an hour and a half ago, so I am going to be miserable tomorrow. But I will play League tomorrow.
Well, I do know that Kasha said he'll be going out to eat very soon. In fact, I don't know why you're still here. But
yeah, why don't
are we gonna continue the podcast or are we closing out?
I think we should close it out. We're at 2.5 hours.
All right. Well, do we have any closing words before we go? Any one of us?
Look forward to my podcast, my Funcast with Vinyl in the future.
Great.
So, I don't have too much to say, I guess. If you want to give me money for a shiny weapon in Final Fantasy, we can talk. But
I have one last question.
Okay.
Wanna become famous?
No, all right. That's it. Thank you, everybody.
Twitch.tv/great percentile.
Please do tune in.
I will stream eventually. Shout out.
Nice.
I do want to stream more
Nice
at
joke.
twitch.tv/Grimgore. But it's kind of hard to find content. So if you have any content, feel free to message me on my YouTube account or perhaps even my Patreon at Scrimgore.
His OnlyFans.
That's true.
I have a great idea for stream content.
Ooh, what's up?
You can stream yourself, be like new player in Final Fantasy 14, and then you'll get like a lot of people coming in because like they love new players over there. Here you go.
I mean, maybe. I do stand by.
What?
I do stand by. I'm definitely going to be playing Final Fantasy 14 fairly soonish.
Yeah.
Sick. And then we just need to get Caution Final on the board.
Oh, dude, that's like most of a raid team.
Yeah, I know. And then I'll play as well. It'll just be a casual thing. It'll be fun.
I'm picking whatever class you guys, so we don't have class. We're missing a role.
Nice.
I mean, you can have dupes, but it's not gonna fuck you.
Dude.
The only way that would fuck us is if 3 of you guys did.
Ooh, let's coordinate this.
Let's get all 3 new players to play DPS.
Nice.
Sure, that's probably better.
Probably.
All
is,
3 of
yeah.
us play healer.
No.
God.
Oh, no.
I mean, that's fine for a casual group. I mean, like.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Okay, I could hear you just cringe when you said casual.
Well, it's because I said healer, okay? Not.
Healer's a delicate word around Gray.
Healer's super easy to play for casuals. Don't worry about it.
You just you fish for free cures.
Colin, I'm just gonna.
He actually left. Oh no.
All right. Take it easy,
Maybe we should call it. Have a good night, everybody. Hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you. Well, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye bye.
See ya.